So after a bit of a hiatus, we pick back up with the crew. In today's episode, entitled Mungeons and Mowls, we continue the last leg of the adventure within the bowels of Castle Caract, where we meet and hopefully defeat our final foe. Will the crew arrive in time? You'll have to listen to find out. We hope you enjoy. All right. So, if I remember correctly, which is a 50-50 shot today.
Last time we won. That's all that happened.
No, I know that didn't happen. I'm 100% sure that's not what happened.
You don't remember us killing Timlakos?
No. I'm pretty sure that that's not a thing.
and it turned out that Timlakos was Ulrich the entire time, or Ulrich was
Go
Timlakos
back,
the entire
check
time.
the recording. It's on there. It's on record.
Yeah, it turns out that he had actually, like, that's the reason why Ulrich was there the entire time. He was actually Timlakos.
No. History is not written by the victors in D&D. It's written by the DM, and she says no. All right. Yes, I do sound like death. I apologize. I also have a fan going, but I think I've got the threshold high enough that you won't catch too much of it. But if it gets obnoxious, let me know.
I can hear.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might need to mute on occasion, but we'll try and keep things rolling. But where we ended up last time, I know it's super hot. Was with the I guess you did have a victory because you took down Hulfrin and her mighty dragon. Although you didn't really take down the mighty dragon, Davynn sort of made friends with it and just palled around with it for most of the battle. They sort of went on a Falcor journey across the battle map.
We discovered ourselves together.
Yeah, y'all had a moment.
The real victory was the friends we made along the way.
Clearly. Which was a pretty fun battle. And you guys did well. But now you have found yourselves staring into the door that was revealed when the statue crumbled. Since you didn't graffiti it.
Yeah.
What would you like to do? Oh shoot, we still don't have. Oh.
All good?
And I currently have 2 levels of exhaustion, so that's fun.
Yes.
I'd like to remind everybody that we are tapped.
Yes.
Like everybody's hurt.
Everybody's hurt. You're missing Gayle. You're missing the Druid. You're missing Cat.
I have 3 first level spells, guys.
Wait. We're missing Cat? I thought she...
No, when you guys went down she was the last one to sit on the small wooden throne. When you guys went down, the door closed. She never got off the throne. She didn't come with you.
Whoops. That's right.
So you have no Cat.
I feel like that's less on us and more on her. We were very obviously going down the hole, and she...
It's not a blame game. It's just a reminder. You have no Cat. You have no Gayle. You have no Druid. It is just the core group.
We have no Gayle and we must scream.
You have no Gayle and you must scream. Sure, Harlan Ellison would be proud. So you are staring down a darkened corridor that appears to be sloping downward. It is dark though, there are no lights. Because where's the fun in that?
Obviously, this is a dark and quiet place, so we can go to sleep.
Yes.
Okay.
We really need to take another rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, taking a short rest is absolutely nothing for me. I haven't.
Yeah, holy crap.
Okay. One way or another, we have to see this through to the end. We've already come this far. I don't think Timlock is just gonna give us time to stop and catch our breath.
Yeah.
It sure would be great if he did. Because I don't know about
Certainly
you,
would.
but my legs are a little bit on the slower side.
Lily is just gonna shoot Mooshnik just a dirty as hell look, considering her legs are currently made of stone.
I mean, yeah.
How did that happen anyway? I was dead when your legs turned to stone.
This castle decided it wanted to judge me, and I did not take kindly to it.
Now, to be fair, I don't think a lot of people would be happy if the castle just decided, oh, I'm going to judge your moralness, especially after the sort of castle this is, which is not a friendly one.
The Tesco has tried to kill us multiple times, so yeah, you're totally in the clear.
Yes. I'd still like to burn it down, but I imagine that wouldn't go over too well.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Alright guys, let's go. We can do this. Or
Can
we can certainly try.
Um.
I will walk forward with Sparky on.
Alright. Now, the corridor is only one person wide.
Oh.
So you will have to go through single files. Determine your marching order for me, please.
I can go
Raise your
first.
hand if
I
you have
am
hit
at.
points.
I have full hit points, technically.
I
Oh,
have
good.
better armor.
You're definitely first.
I have 50. I can go second.
I'm going in the middle because I have nothing I can really do. Unless we want to take 10 minutes so I can ritual cast some shit.
Mooshnik will be behind Lily then.
Well, actually, pause. What do you have for ritual casting?
Well, I can summon an unseen servant to do mundane shit like carrying a lantern or whatever, but you got Sparky, so I can reestablish a telepathic bond because, you know, we don't have Cat handling that anymore. And I can identify shit. Can also cast Alarm, Find Familiar, and Tiny Hut, but with the exception of Find Familiar, all that's pretty much only for if we want to stay stationary for any significant amount of time, which I don't think we do.
We could do the telepathic link again. Any bit that of advantage we can get would be nice, I think.
The only problem with that is Tim Lacos has the same advantage that Cat did, which was he can just listen to it anyway.
Yeah, you can listen to us
Also, we
talking
run the
anyways.
risk of getting a feedback loop again.
Oh, that was less us and more Cat.
That's fair. Maybe we can give him a huge headache via feedback loop then.
Yeah, let's all just
Oh.
scream in our heads.
But he can hear from everyone all at once.
You haven't been doing that this entire time.
Alright, so do you want to take time to do the telepathic link?
I don't mind if that's what everybody else wants.
Sure. Don't mind.
So, pull out my book and make a tiny little ritual circle inside this tiny hallway and start establishing a telepathic bond between the entire party.
Alright. So you take your time and establish your link.
Testing.
Oh, I sure do love it when we get these links going. I mean, it makes me feel like I'm less
Oh
alone.
no.
And
Then
especially
runs
at
is
a
a horrible
moment
mistake.
when we're all coming to face danger in our darkest hour, having all of you here beside me.
Wait,
It makes
Mooshnik,
me
question.
feel like you've all fallen into a
Mooshnik,
trap of
can you do
friendship
that
with
the
me.
entire time so that he can't mind control me?
Of course, I'll tell you about any story you wish to hear. Which ones do you want? I mean, I've got the one
All
time.
of them.
Perfect,
Every
let's go.
single one.
There was one time I went to a forest and I saw the trees, and I'm like, these are strange looking trees
I'm
for this
walking
area.
forwards now.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a pretty good story with these trees.
Feel free to keep on telling it.
I'm getting mixed signals from the group here.
Alright, so with your telepathic bond established and a Mooshnik's soothing yet somehow maniacal nattering as your background music, what is your marching order going down this hall?
I think I'm front.
Okay.
Unless Xylund really wanted front.
No,
Yes.
if you got full hit points, you can go ahead. I'll go behind you though.
I'll
Yeah,
search the rear in case something decides to sneak up on us, I guess.
yeah, and I was doing the very, very middle because, you know,
So then, Lana, Lily, Mooshnik, Kern?
Yep.
Okay. Making
I'll be
notes for
watching the back.
no apparent reason. Don't worry about it.
What about it?
What does that say?
It's just
That's
putting
our
together the
marching
marching order, but my handwriting's really bad. Continue.
I don't.
It says Clamley XD, in case anybody needs to know.
Yep.
That is. Okay. So as you progress down this hall, there's another change in the air. It's very similar to the shift that you had when you transitioned from the new front part of Karacht, the stately and rebuilt sections, to the older, smaller, darker sections, where you ran into the alchemy lab and the little wooden throne. Except the air here is very heavy, and you come to notice that everything else you smelled so far has had an ethereal quality to it, but the smells in here are very visceral. It smells like compost and dying vegetation, and matted leaves, and the weird sort of sickly but not off-putting smell of the world going to sleep right before winter. As you move along a little bit, you begin to realize that there are vines under your feet, covering the fact that there aren't actually stairs. This is a gradual decline down. It's not steep enough that you'll need to make a dex check or anything, but it does slow you considerably. And that sickly sweet smell of dying roses just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. But even the thorns and the roses that you see littering the ground that are slowly rotting are much more real than anything else you've encountered so far. These aren't, white traces of light or purple traces of magic chasing each other. This is very material. And the air just gets heavier and the smell just gets stronger as you gradually work your way down gently sloping hall. Finally, you get to the very bottom. And through Sparky's light, you're able to see a massive room. Could easily cover the upper floor of the castle. Can't even see the other side of it. What you can see is the entire place is made of Geshl. All of it. It's been patched and repaired in places, but this whole area is one big Geshl battery. And just above Mooshnik's congenial stories about trees and this one lass that he met on the road this one day, there's a hum, a drone of 1,000 voices all talking at once. It's not harmful. It's not angry. It's just conversation. But thousands of them simultaneous. There's no way to drown it out. There's no way to block it out. It's just there, like the wind. It doesn't stop. And yet, this carpet of dying thorns and wilted roses continues underneath your feet. You step out onto what appears to be a balcony that runs the length, at least of the wall that you've come out of on. Whether it goes around the entire room, it's hard to say, since it's so large. But from this vantage point, you can see a massive mausoleum in the center. Statues of the gods, easily 20 foot tall, peeking out from both sides of the mausoleum, some covered in thick black cloth, most of them not though. And everywhere is just the stink of dead roses and the clinging, grasping, dying vines. It stinks, and it's loud, and it's obnoxious. And yet here you are. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
Can we make out any idea of what the voices are speaking about?
There's way too many, but like I said, unlike the older section of Karok Castle, where the voices, like when the spirits would sort of gang up on you guys and they sounded malicious and they sounded pissed. This doesn't have that same vibe to it. This just sounds like a million everyday conversations all taking place at the same time. Not even always in the same language. So it's just to the point where it's a drone.
So there's
Imagine-
a balcony running around the outside of the room?
Well, it runs, at the very least, it runs to the left and right of where you come out of. You're standing on it. You can't see the far edge of the room or even the far edge of the wall because
So the
the room
statues
is
are below
large
us?
enough. Yes, the statues'
Okay.
bases are below you, but they're about 20 foot tall.
Right.
So they come up to where you are.
Gotcha.
Do we have any idea about which of the gods are covered and which are not?
Does anyone have knowledge of religion?
Hey, I'm a paladin. I probably know something about this shit.
I know at least two.
Where's my...
I've got some religion.
Right, go for it.
I do too, surprisingly.
I have a +5 to religion, but I'm not proficient.
Oh, I am
well,
kind of trained.
Well,
Nope. No, well, no, I'm with Nick so much. Oh, that's supposed to be a normal roll, not advantage anyway.
Everyone goes to
Well,
church.
that would make sense. I mean, you know.
I am the worst at religion. I'm a paladin, and I
But you learned your paladin like
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
field. So
I pretty much made most of it
yeah,
up.
your exposure to the scripture was pretty limited.
Lily made sure to
Um,
make a study of all the various groups of people that would absolutely hate her on sight.
Well, that's actually a very small group. Most of the gods don't really have an issue with magic until the crack. Rildis has always been kind of a stick in the mud about it, but the rest don't really care.
sorry.
So yes, the ones that you can see, and because they are so large and so tall, you are able to see all of them. They do represent the greater pantheon. So they have all the gods that you would recognize from the standard array of churches. Every church that is represented in Greylock and Nenemeth, even though she technically has been exiled from Greylock. She has a statue as well. Of the covered statues, the only one that sort of stands out, you can't really... It's difficult to make out the shapes of the ones that are covered, but there's one where the sackcloth has been pulled down enough, like someone tried to rip it down but it was too heavy, and just exposed the top portion. And that is Liranel, who is one of the dark gods.
Oh.
So, given the number of other shrouded figures, it is a good supposition that that's who the others are.
To the wiki.
All right.
The dark gods are not generally taught. Their scriptures are usually ignored, and their followers are considered cultists in civilized areas.
May we, in some way, like basically get an idea of what Liranel's deal is?
Well, was it Lily who got the?
Yeah.
Lily
Yeah.
got a critical, and you got a 22. Yeah, Liranel, especially Liranel, would be the easiest one to identify because she's part of the creation myth of Iyith. In the creation myth of Iyith, there are 3 goddesses. Nenemeth, the goddess of magic, Kalishin, the goddess of the prime, and Liranel, also a goddess of magic. But Nenemeth and Liranel, they sort of teamed up to get rid of the rabble and bring order to Iyith back in the time of turmoil, and everything was open and there was chaos, and Iyith was open to all the different planes of reality, and everyone kept coming in and taking their stuff. They didn't like that. So they banded together and they booted out the interlopers. And then once that got settled and things got tampered down, Nenemeth and Liranel had very different ideas about how Iyith should run. Nenemeth wanted neutrality, and Liranel wanted somewhere between benevolent dictatorship and good-hearted chaos. That didn't sit very well, and eventually Nenemeth won. So Liranel has the portfolio of lies, trickery, deceit, magic, and various other undesirable, chaotic areas.
And Kalishin was just like, I'll set this one out.
Well, Kalishin's whole thing is she is the prime. Like, she doesn't give a crap about magic. If it's not the bones of the ground, she doesn't care.
Gotcha.
Don't step on my stuff. You guys do whatever. My world, whatever. He doesn't
Alright.
really care for politics.
We're linked up, so if there's problems, just give a mental yell. Let's see what else they have here.
I'm gonna start ritual casting detect magic.
Okay. Oh, hey. You guys take your 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have that too.
As for range, we'll be able to hear each other no matter where we are, unless you cross to a different plane, so, don't do that. But other than that, you can go as far as you need to.
Well, I'll do my best.
But you guys wait while they cast
I think
detect magic?
I would like to investigate the shroud over there now and see if I can get an idea of how long ago it was attempted to pull off, like how much dust is settled upon it and stuff like that. Is there a way I can bring it back on and stuff?
Where you're standing at now, there's a railing along this balcony, so you'd either have to jump down, which looks to be about a 15-foot drop, or find stairs. Which would you prefer?
Is there like a column that I can climb down?
Not next to the balcony. No, there are columns throughout the room, but they're not close enough to the balcony to where you could, swashbuckle over or anything.
Might as well just try to find stairs then.
Okay.
I have a grapple gun if you want to wait.
I mean, yes. Yes, I very much want to use that. Okay, I'll sit here and wait.
So Davynn's, I imagine, just sitting there rocking back and forth waiting for the grapple gun.
Xylund, I can get the detect up if you want to do that
Alright.
with him.
Okay, let's go grapple.
Well, if there's ritual casting going on, I'm gonna ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Gonna be my poking stick.
Okay. Alright, Davynn, what do you want to grapple?
I think...
If we just grapple the railing and then sort of rappel down, that should work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't even really need a... I mean, you would just have to hook it onto the railing and let the rope go. It didn't even require a roll. Roll for coolness points.
Okay, so we're both doing this?
Pardon?
Are you both taking the rope, or is it just Davynn?
I'll go down with him too.
Okay. Alright. So you guys clamber down the grapple gun to the floor below, which is also just a huge mat of dead and dying vines. Some of them still seem like they're moving, but it's a very sluggish movement. It's like worms crawling through the soil. They're very slow. Every now and again you catch a glimpse of a petal, but they're generally pretty shriveled.
Kern, unhook my grapple at the top there so I can fire it back up when we want to go back up.
Sure.
Thanks.
So yeah, I think we're gonna investigate.
Okay.
The statue of Lyra specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Roll your investigation.
I'll pull up my fairy, give myself a little boost.
I'll.
Actually, that's probably.
I'm still ritual casting.
11.
So you guys make your way to the statue of Lyra, which is not terribly far away. It's sort of towards the far end of the mausoleum, in the center of the room. As you walk by, you get an idea of what this place is. From what you can see, these are catacombs. It's not just the central mausoleum. The walls are lined with small indentures that have housed remains of presumably honored citizens of Greylock in some manner or another. Some of them have cages, very similar to accordion bars, presumably for alchemical work, so you don't blow yourself up all over the catacomb. But a lot of them are still open, and they are everywhere. They are along every wall. There is no space left empty underneath the balcony. It's all remains upon remains. When you get to the statue, the attempt to pull down the cloth, it has been fairly recent, because you can still sort of see the handprints from where somebody grabbed it at the bottom, but it's been long enough that the vines have begun to overtake the very bottom of the shroud.
We don't see any way that we could possibly put it back over successfully.
It's a 20-foot tall statue, so you'd either have to climb it or levitate it, or levitate the cover.
Well, I can climb it.
Yeah, do it.
If you want.
Yeah, I'll use my climb speed to,
Okay.
see if I can get the shroud back up and fix it.
Okay. These are fairly hefty statues. It would be easy for you to climb, and Lyra in particular would be an easy statue to climb, as she is generally depicted as a woman surrounded by vines and roses, which gives you very convenient handholds.
Oh,
So wait, are these
Oh.
vines and roses growing from her?
They don't seem to be emanating from her, because you can see some that are coming from other directions that have amassed around the bottom of her pedestal. They seem to be coming from all directions. So no, the statue doesn't seem to be the centralized
Still, it's suspicious.
spawn point.
You know what?
Your
I bet we're
Nell's
gonna have to kill a god.
Queen of Roses.
I really hope we don't have to kill a god.
It would be pretty epic.
That would
I
be
don't know,
epic, but
guys.
that sounds like something we can't do. Hey, Mooshnik, question?
What you got?
These vines and stuff, any idea where they might come from?
Oh, from around. They're really hardy as far as species go, so it's possible that they just broke their way on in and said, this is where we're living now. Because it's what nature does, you see. It just reclaims old land. And especially when you got someone like a goddess here who's known to be the one where all these little plant beasties spawned from, someone may have actually gone out of their way some time ago to plant these, so they would grow wild exactly like this. Although I can imagine that back then, when this castle wasn't pure evil, there were gardeners to keep this sort of thing from happening. But now that it's gone all sorts of wanky bad, it's all gone out of control.
Thank you, bad.
I'd like to roll a constitution check.
Please. I think that's required. There you go.
Winky
You
I
slipped
will
into
now
Jar
add
Jar
that to my,
speak there.
I'll now add that to my vocabulary.
Yeah, that's got to stick around. If you actually want to roll a nature check, Mushnik,
Okay, I'll do that too.
I would allow that.
Oh,
These are. You're not wrong, actually. Like you're not that far off. These would be called stone roses. They are an especially hardy variety of roses. They are naturally occurring generally in rocky and mountainous regions, and they have been known to split stone. And unlike the plants that you talked to upstairs, which were kind of ephemeral and sort of had a waifish sort of thing with them, these roses are quite real. This is something that you would find in somebody's garden. This is something that you would find out scouting in the mountains. These are very real. These are probably not coming through the floor because it would be difficult for them to climb the balcony, that sort of thing. But it would be very plausible for them to break rock if given enough time.
I stand by what I said. This is wanky bad.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Stand by what I said.
You're gonna use your climb speed to adjust and
Yes.
replace the thingy. Okay.
Yep.
Works for me. Like I said, this is a very easily climbable statue. Lots of handholds and footholds, and
Heck.
it's massive. So
Because I'm sure that, no god or goddess is going to be offended by you climbing on their statue.
Yeah, it's an evil goddess anyways, so it's probably fine.
probably fine.
Like, it probably evens out, because some good god is like, yeah, disrespect that evil god.
Yeah, because evil god/goddesses are not vindictive at all.
And y'all are so devout. Oh boy.
That's fair.
just don't let your
Alright.
junk rub up against it and it should be fine.
Oh, too late. My bad.
Well, Davynn is teabagging the creator goddess. The twins are finished with their ritual casting. Lily, you said you wanted to investigate.
Yes. I'm gonna make sure that for my investigation, Crash Dummy is gonna go ahead of me, so that any kind of traps get triggered by it first.
Okay. Now the rope is gone, so you would have to be walking along this balcony. Do you want to go left or right?
You know, left sounds really good right now.
Okay. So you send your unseen servant to the left in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
and other than the squish of the mild rot of the compost under your feet, you don't trigger any traps. The place is just a mass of droning and Mooshnik stories, and it's just amazing how large it is. You can easily travel a good 50 feet before you can even see the opposite wall, the one that you're heading towards. Or the connecting wall, I should say, the one that you're heading towards. And it's all just the same. You can see the mausoleum in the center, and eventually you get past it and you notice the statues, of course. As you're walking by, their heads peeking up just above the railing in the center, strategically placed. But as you get to the end, right there at the juncture, there is a small set of stairs, about wide enough for one person to go down.
I go down them.
Okay. And so now you two are on the ground floor. Same mat of rock. And you two see the ossuaries and the catacombs and get a sense of what this place truly is. But there's nothing here that strikes you as off other than the constant droning as you watch Davynn climb and attempt to recover the Lilinal statue.
So the covering, was it torn or just pulled off?
Well, I mean, if you can certainly wander over, you're certainly close enough to them. It doesn't appear to be torn. Like, it looks like someone just took a big grip and pulled, but it's super heavy. And you pass one other cloth-covered statue on your way to the Lilinal one, and it's got a thick layer of dust on it. People don't touch these. So it's probably just super heavy, and whoever was messing with it didn't have the physical strength to deal with that, or got interrupted. One of the two.
Oh wait, maybe if we pull all the cloths down, then the evil gods will fight each other and take each other out. And then we'll just stride in through the dead god bodies. Rescue.
No.
Does anybody else think that it's odd that somebody took the time to cover a Lilinal statue?
Uncover it?
Yes. I mean, look at this other one, and they clearly haven't been disturbed for long time.
Well, yeah, it's odd. That's why we're trying to cover it back up.
Could be that they were gonna uncover all of them and then tried this one first and then decided that it wasn't gonna work. Or it could be that they just wanted to do this one. We don't know.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but the question is, why?
Because they have a crush on her? Just the first thing that came to mind.
I'm not sure that's a question we can answer yet. We have to wait till we confront Temlakos and get his villain monologue, I think.
Well,
Hmm.
I
my-
were going to have a guess either one. This just happened because, the Earth's been, moving around and things have been weird. fell off, or this is a very clear symbol like, hey, I need this old goddess's favor, and, well, maybe she's backing Tamlakos doing something, or I don't know. Maybe maybe Tamlakos is driving her power, but his power from her.
I think having a will worker that's simultaneously a cleric of Lirinel would be somewhat terrifying.
Yeah.
I think you think correctly.
Especially since people, don't worship her. From what I've heard from you guys, he was all like, hey, we like to have like this benevolent ruler, and I like to be in control of everything. For not having that probably made her more keen on giving one person more power who could potentially, bring her back into the limelight.
Maybe.
Well, I mean,
But,
I don't want to
like
play
Xylund
devil's
said,
advocate, but it doesn't sound that bad. I mean, some chaos with a strict ruler, keeping things in check. That's like, I mean, what's so crazy about that?
I mean, there's nothing crazy about it. It's just, I don't know, I assume that there's a reason that these gods aren't talked about anymore.
well, no matter what, I believe Xylund's correct. We don't have enough information. So we can make these suppositions, but
I'm just assuming worst case scenario.
yeah. I'm gonna resume investigating. Is there anything that my investigation roll found that the others didn't?
On the statue or about the
Hey,
cloth or
guys!
anything?
Oh, about the
Yes?
Oh, hey, Lana.
Guys, yeah, I'm all the way over here, but telepathic bond. I think we're getting scryed on. Or
Us.
something like that. There's a divination spell.
Oh. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, just by the way.
I'm
Also, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get down from here.
Grapple gun.
I don't know.
I'm
You found stairs,
Oh, okay.
Lana. Yeah,
whoops.
I
You
didn't
did say
word
that.
very well, but yeah, when you get to the juncture, you find a set of stairs very similar to what Lily found on the left-hand side, just a single staircase leading down.
Hey, Davynn, can you go walk through like that spot? I'm curious what's gonna happen.
Can I potentially identify
Sure.
the actual spell being used on the on the divination thing?
Can you?
I mean, I have identify if that helps.
I don't think that's what that does.
I don't
That's
think
items,
that's
not
what that
spells.
do.
I also have
Let's
proficiency
see.
in Arcana.
Yeah, but you'd have to see it cast, or you'd have
Yeah.
to see glyphs or some other.
It's probably
indication
like a
of the
scrying
spell.
eye or something.
I'll walk through the area.
Crying.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are pretty far apart. Like the cluster of you are down by the statue of Lirinel, which is just to the tail end of the mausoleum, and Lana is all the way over to the opposite wall, in front of the mausoleum. So it takes a little bit to get there at a hustle.
Did you
but-
get the statue covered?
Oh yeah, did I?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
No,
Oh, cool,
no rolls
cool.
were needed for that. Like I said, it was an easy climb. You've got a good climb speed, and it wasn't pulled down far enough that it would have taken a lot of strength to hoist it back up. Whoever did it did it
Democus
really.
is a wimp.
He did a very poor job. Whoever did it. All right, so you're gonna walk through which area now?
That patch of ground right there, that one. Or wherever that spot of divination is.
Okay, so you're headed for the spot of divination.
Yeah.
Yes, this
Okay.
seems smart.
This seems like a not good idea.
Now, the spot of
Too late!
divination is actually directly beneath you,
Oh.
Lana. So it's underneath the balcony. Davynn, as you close in on that section, you can see the railings of the staircase as they come down from the balcony, and you do catch a soft white glow coming from one of the inset little catacombs, little ossuaries. What catches your eye first is the light glinting off of the closed accordion cage doors. What catches your eye second is there appears to be a person caught in those doors. Arm above them, they themselves, butt on the ground, arm looks, or shoulder looks pretty dislocated.
Hey guys, there's a person here.
Oh,
shit.
I can go down, I think.
They look hurt. Can somebody else come over here? Somebody who can heal, maybe?
I will go down the stairs.
Okay, so everyone rushes up.
Yes.
I'm still investigating the room.
Okay, Lily is off doing Dora the Explorer. Everyone else runs. The body has been pretty well overtaken with vines up to about where their nose is.
Ew.
But as you all sort of cluster around this door, you hear a voice, and it's the first clear human voice that you heard since you entered this godforsaken place. And it says it's a female voice, and an oddly familiar one. And it says, "Stand back, or I'll burn you all."
What?
You can't actually see it. It seems to be coming from the back of the locked ossuary.
Hello? Who is this speaking?
And there seems to be a murmured discussion happening inside. And then you see Gayle rushing to the gate. And he presses his little face on it. He grips the little brass triangles. He's like, "She didn't mean it, guys. She didn't know it was you. It's okay. What are you doing down here? We
Looking
thought
for
you
you.
were dead." Hi.
You doing okay? Good to see you.
No. They're not great down here. How are you?
Is that cat back there with you?
No. He kind of looks down at the figure.
That's
Caught by arm. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Wait, who?
Cat's on the ground covered with vines.
Yeah, Cat's the one wrapped in vines
With the dislocated arm?
with the dislocated arm.
Cat?
Alright, let's
I'll start cutting her
that.
free.
Don't
Yeah.
wait. No,
Yeah.
no. Don't wake
What?
her up. Please don't wake her
Okay,
up.
don't wake her up. Why?
She went nuts. She went
Again?
nuts. Yes. As soon as we came here, she lost her mind. She tried to kill the High Priestess. She tried to kill me. It was the only thing we could do.
The High Priestess?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. The High Priestess is here.
She back there with
Xylund-
you?
Well, yeah, she
Paladin?
threatened to burn you alive. I'm sorry.
Good
I'm really
thing that
sorry.
she's not enslaved anymore.
This is a different person, isn't it?
Who, Bowen?
Oh, the high priestess.
Person that we
Bowen.
gave over
Oh, she's back there?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is she doing back there?
She's been here for weeks.
Oh god.
Well, that solves that problem, I guess. We
It
rescued her.
doesn't
Hooray!
solve it. It just answers the mystery. Sorry about that.
So then Bowen comes up to the gate as well, and it is indeed Bowen, looking very much as Kern saw in his scrying session. She's got a decent head wound, and her robes, which are appropriate for her station, are ripped. She does have shoes now, though. She didn't the first time you saw her. But yeah, she's pretty bloodied. She's a little more cleaned up than the scry image. But
Probably because Gayle showed up and was helping her.
probably. But she sort of looks at you all a little quizzically and looks at Gayle. And
Sorry
Gayle
for giving you to your rivals there. That was a bad call on our part. Glad you're all right. I guess we'll just call that even then.
And she has this permanent like confusion, just look on her face, and Gayle sort of skips to the far side of the gate on the other side of Cat, and presses his face to that set of bars and kind of motions for you to come over. She doesn't remember any of that.
Never mind. Forget what I just said.
Wait, do you know why?
Well, yeah, we've been down here a while.
How long? What do you mean, we? How long have you been down here?
Well, I don't know. Long enough to hear the story.
Let's
Long
hear the
enough
story.
to be hungry. Long enough to bash Cat on the head.
Oh, you did that?
Wait.
Oh, I had to.
Good job.
Let's go back to what story did you hear?
Bowen.
Oh.
She doesn't remember any of it. She doesn't remember her assistant getting murdered. She doesn't remember meeting you guys. She doesn't remember coming home. She doesn't remember any of it.
Well, that's probably for the best.
What's the last thing you remember, Gayle?
The last thing I remember is walking into the treaty woods and seeing something I never wanted to see while awake. And
I'm
then
assuming
I woke up
that
here.
wasn't a military-looking general woman.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, walking
Okay.
into the treaty woods, but like, what happened before that?
Well, I was with you guys, and
Where were we?
we ate apples.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't dealing with somebody
Wait.
who, like,
Davynn's gonna
the
think
last
back.
time Gayle remembered was like us actually going into the treaty woods with him the first time.
Oh no.
Davynn's gonna think back upon our adventures together and think about how many times we've eaten apples.
Just that one time.
Speaking of which, it'd be really cool if you could regurgitate that now so that we could use it.
Here, I'm just gonna open my mouth, you baby bird it to me, Gayle.
So disgusting.
That-
Try to
That's
make out with Gayle. There's a time and a place.
Oh, how did you guys get down here?
We went the
We-
long, hard way. There was lots of things to fight, and we climbed up some ladders and down some stairs and a little grappling hook thing. I didn't do the grappling hook thing. And there were some lassies we had to fight and beat up, and they wanted to beat us up. But I guess there was a good reason. They were ghosts or something, but that's not really so bad. And Lily there, lass, has turned into a golem, and Lana there, she fell into a painting, and there's a ghost.
Oh, I
think it was
died.
a ghost.
Kern
I'm
died
not really
too.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Xylund
Xylund and I
Silent here
died.
died. Then he's not dead. And before him, Kern boy died. And then he was not dead, and that's when Xylund finally died. And then Xylund came back, and Cat opened the door for us through sitting on a chair. And we all had to sit on the chair, mind you. But that's okay. We find ourselves down here, and there's all the little statues of the gods and goddesses and things. And we put a cloth on one. No, we took the cloth off their face, and that's when Lana found the body, which turns out to be Cat, and now we're here.
Really self-explanatory.
Succinct as always there, Mushnik.
I do my best.
Yeah, Cat should have been behind us.
Yeah. How long
Yes,
was Cat
possibly.
down here, Gayle?
Well, I woke up here and the druid was here, awake, when I woke up. And Cat got here a little while later. She just sort of showed up.
Just poofed into the
Okay.
cage with you?
No, she came from the other end of the hall.
Oh. Where'd the druid go?
Oh, she's in the back.
Oh, okay.
Just out of curiosity, do you guys have like any sort of like divination magic going on right now? Or is that just from the druid?
According to the high priestess, that's what the druid is channeling.
Okay, cool, because we were wondering if we were really getting spied on for a second.
I mean,
Well-
we are getting spied on, guaranteed.
I don't think so. The high priestess was in pretty rough shape. She hasn't really been able to sleep much since she got here.
I have
It's a
stuff for that.
tough place to sleep. But I did try and help her, and the minute I cast a spell, the vines underneath us that looked dead started to move again. So I'm not sure if this is a safe space necessarily for magic.
Mm.
Lily
you-
just
do you
looks at
need
the
help
spot
getting
that
out?
her.
Well, it's locked on our side, not your side.
Oh. Why?
This is where Bowen's been living.
Okay, but why is it locked on her side?
Because he saw Tim Lacos. And she knows what he is and what he can do.
Oh,
And she can't leave. But she doesn't trust herself or anybody else right now.
so what do you know about Temlakos there, high priestess?
He comes back to the bars. Well, considering he's been wearing me like a cape for the past however long, I know he doesn't shut up.
Ah. Okay.
He's...
This might actually be the first time we've met, but I'm Davynn from Whitfeld. We're gonna help you.
You better.
We're gonna try.
Otherwise, we're all doomed to live down here until it comes crashing down.
So you were saying?
About Tim Lacos?
Yeah.
He's
Any
a
weaknesses or?
besides his own ego? None that I know of. Actually, that's not true.
What?
Her Grace, before she threw me out of the mausoleum, rather forcibly, said that he has to be in his actual form. He likes to change. He wears other people quite easily.
Yep.
Did she say about any way to lock him into his actual form?
I'm not sure. She can. I watched her do it. It hurt her, but she did it.
Is he still locked in his natural form then?
Well, I can't get into the mausoleum. Not that I would try. I haven't seen them since I was removed.
Does he have some
know-
kind of connection to Lyra now?
Oh yeah,
How so?
definitely. Oh, he's one of hers. He's got great plans, you see. You have to understand, he talks like no one I have ever met in my entire existence.
Well, you haven't met
We'll
Mooshnik.
see about that.
She looks startled.
Have you met Mushrump? Have you met Xylund?
So,
Actually, no, she hasn't.
No.
Introductions? Introductions? Let's do introductions.
I kind of want to hear the end of this, which is
Yeah. No.
Oh, he has huge plans. He wants the stone. Thing I'd never heard of. And he had so many plans to get it. And I watched him sometimes from my own amulet. It's just degrading. Convinced a tribe of kobolds that they would get a powerful new god. Convinced an admittedly beautiful specimen of an ancient red dragon that she would get her mate back. Convinced a clan of beasts that they would have the run of Vakari when Greylock fell to do with whatever they wanted. Convinced a lonely, angry, frustrated Glamoured that he could reverse some banishment the creature felt was unduly put upon him. So many plans. And at the end of each plan was always the same instructions. You were the only thing standing in their way.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Why us?
Wait. Oh. Like, we're the only thing standing in their way? Or oh.
Well, why do you think all these people have been trying to kill us?
Well, kobolds
I
are
don't
friendly to
know.
us.
I
and
don't
stuff.
know if he was saying that, like, the people that he was convincing, that they're, like,
No.
that they were the only thing standing in the way, or I don't know.
No, that the only thing standing between each group and having whatever it is Tamlikos promised was just simply murdering you all and taking what they wanted. And then giving it to him, of course.
Well, that explains a lot.
But he never showed up in his true form, in case things went south.
But why us? What? Why is he so concerned about us?
Well, we have the drag. We have the. Never mind.
We didn't at the time. Now we do, but at the time we were just kind of nobodies who happened to go kill some shadow dogs together.
I thought you believed in like fate and destiny and all that shit.
I do, but I don't know. Does Tamlikos?
Well,
He seems to have put these plans into motion for a long time. He would ramble incessantly about all the clever little things that he did here and there. He made a joke once about being the stupidest man in Vakari, selling chromite to kobolds. He thinks he's funny as well as brilliant, so this is clearly something that he had been working on for a long time. He called it his major gift. So maybe he wasn't aware that you didn't have it, or maybe he assumed that if you got killed early, it would save him trouble. Didn't talk about that. He seemed very confident that at least one plan would pan out, one way or another. Although they all seem to wobble a bit
Or,
in the end.
hear me out, knew all this would happen, and it was just like, it was the path the entire time, and he's like seen that we could potentially be undoing everything that was supposed to like prevent him from doing. I don't. Maybe he saw all this and is assuming that we're just gonna end up bringing whatever he wants to him.
Maybe. In which case we'd be walking right into his trap.
Well, I imagine that's something that would have happened one way or another regardless.
Very possibly. Are we awesome, by the way? Because if he was trying to stop us this entire time, I thought it was just us being bad at stuff, but if it was him fucking with us...
Well,
We're pretty
maybe
awesome.
it's... I don't know. Maybe it was... Like, you know how the Dream Eaters, like Cat and stuff, can put ideas into people's minds, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying that Nasali was necessarily manipulated, but, you know, she is super in tune with everything here. All the Geshl Stone and everything, and I can't imagine... I'm assuming that's why Cat went crazy here, is because we don't have any psychic powers, and we hear like the background muttering. I
That always
can't
happens,
imagine
though.
it. I'd imagine it'd be hard, but not impossible, to be like, oh, there's a group of people that are the key to taking down this guy,
Yes, well,
and he
the
just
last...
like put it into my Solly's head, or like
But
into
why would
one
he
of her.
work so hard to stop us then?
Because that way Nasali would have undeniable, unshakable faith in us. Everybody would.
She's been out of
Saw
commission
how
for a
Greylock
while,
treated
though.
us when they found out who we were. They just let us waltz right in here.
That's true and concerning.
That is an
Well-
interesting point. How did you get in here?
We walked in. That was it. We
Yeah.
had to fight some
Walked in?
phantoms, but yeah. Well,
Un-
not walked in. We burst in as a giant lizard thing, which I don't think has a name yet.
Thunder Lizard.
Thunder Lizard, yes.
What about a tyrant lizard?
I'd
Tyrant
Ah,
King
Thunder
Lizard.
Lizard.
That
Regardless,
is odd.
well, do you know why you were ejected from the mausoleum?
She said it wasn't safe. I didn't come here under my own power.
I imagine this was when Timlakos was in control.
Yes, I came for a visit. Somehow woke up inside the mausoleum.
Oh, so she sucked him out of you and put him into his real form and then booted you out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, in a manner of speaking, she destroyed the my holy symbol. She obliterated it.
Was he getting to you through your holy symbol?
Yes, apparently.
How?
I don't know. It's not any type of magic I understand.
Could it be due to his connection with Lirinel being able to affect holy symbols?
I don't know much about the magics of Lirinel either. But that seemed to be the connection. As soon as that item was destroyed, I was myself again, and before I knew it, she lifted a hand and used that same blast to knock me into a wall.
You know what?
And slam the doors.
I bet that Nenamith and Lirinel are actually the same person, just multiple personalities.
I would be careful.
I think you should maybe start, taking a close look at your sacred scripts there and maybe
Okay,
start reading
thank you
between
for
the
your
lines.
Thank you.
Xylund, I'm gonna take you over here now. Let's look at these other statues.
So, alright. So now we know a lot of what Timlakos has been doing. And we know that he's currently in the mausoleum, it seems like.
Yes, they
Yeah.
both are.
Well, then
They're
I
both there.
Hold
I
on.
imagine that it's a terrible idea to leave him alone with her alone with him. Regardless, it seems like it wouldn't be too great for Nasali's health if we just leave her there locked up with him.
Yeah, but what would be even worse is if he got control of what he wants. And to me, I still can't shake this feeling that this has been all one gigantic ploy to get us here, to give him what he wants.
Here's the thing.
And honestly,
We're a little
the shape we're in right now, if we go in, he's gonna get what he wants.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We have a bag of holding, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Only one person can get anything from that bag of holding, and if it's destroyed, everything in there is gone forever.
That's not how a bag of holding works. If you break the bag, everything just falls out.
Wait, what do you have? What do you have? Not the bag of holding. What do you have?
Well, just 1 second.
Just real quick, if the bag is overloaded, pierced, or torn, it ruptures and is destroyed, and its contents are scattered in the astral plane.
Oh.
If the bag is turned inside out, the contents spill forth unharmed, but the bag must be put right before it can be used again.
But planar transportation also doesn't work here, so let's not rely on that.
Yeah. So we don't know what would happen. It could all conglomerate into a massive cyborg. We don't know.
But can he
But I think the thing
override
is
the bag's magics and be able to take something when only the owner is able to?
We can't know that, so let's not test it.
What are we debating here? Because turning back at this point isn't an option.
It's not.
I know.
Hey, Xylund, look at this one! This
However-
one's granted.
But the thing is, I think Lakos has been seeing us for long enough to know our weaknesses, and he knows that we think we're hot shit. Basically, he thinks that we think that we're indestructible.
We don't actually think that, though. I mean,
We
I don't know about you guys, but
we came charging into a goddamn city with invisible fires after seeing a dragon.
Okay,
what
but did we do that? Did any of us do that because we thought we were indestructible, or because we thought it was the right thing that we had to do?
That
Half?
I mean, forgive me for bringing this
remember,
up, but we
also-
are all aware that we're not indestructible, especially considering what happened to 2 of your members prior to my sister and I arriving.
Yes, but
I
because we're prideful, he knows that we think that we're doing the best thing, and that we're the ones that can do it the best.
I don't think
For
that.
Pete's
I
sake,
think we're the only
we
people
had
who are doing
we had
it.
an opportunity to let this thing be sealed away forever, and we said no. We're gonna take care of it because we can protect it.
I don't.
So what are you saying? You're saying that I should take it and run? Leave you guys here or something?
Well,
Maybe,
here's the
maybe
thing.
not.
Here's the thing. This thing was the only reason we got in the first place. And the second, we're not the best. We're not the people who can handle this best. We all know this. But we were the only ones left to handle it. We're the only ones here.
Regardless, I don't think we can leave. So that's off the table.
I hold up a scroll.
Oh.
Maybe not us,
I'm
but maybe we
really
can
not
get Gayle
on board
and
with
Kat
this.
and Bowen out of here. Giving them enough time to find a place to keep this thing safe.
You're taking this one paranoid step too far. I think you're having a mini breakdown here.
I
don't
think
see
he's
why.
wrong.
Well, I don't see why
He's not. He's not. If we mess up here, then we don't want to have our failure
We'll
make him
still
win.
try to kill him, but if we die, we shouldn't have the orb on our bodies.
No, but the orb might be the thing that kills him. Maybe we can suck him into it. I mean, Davynn did it.
I have no
earlier.
idea if that can do that. All I've got right now is K-Knight. Look, the only thing that I figured out how to do with this orb is K-Knight and Barkness.
What orb are you talking about?
I will show her the orb.
You will slide open the door on the far side just a little bit to take it.
No, I will hold it.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're not giving it to her.
I mean, I've since learned to not trust people who look like our friends.
I can't touch it.
No.
No, you
Look
can't.
at it.
This is a orb from Amber Marin.
I
Oh.
think it's best, lass, that, especially considering you've got a proclivity to be worn like a cape, like you said, by the big bad, it's best not to let someone who gets worn by him like a pair of old undies to be holding on to the thing we don't want him getting.
Now, Bowen is not a large woman. Like, she's probably all of 22, 23, and she's very slight. But she pulls herself up to as commanding a height as she can with all the grace and bearing of a high priestess, and brings on her best "may I speak with your manager" stare and reminds you gently that I have not been taken over
For almost a week now.
since my holy symbol was destroyed. Whatever nefarious ability Tamlakos has, it was clearly held within that object. I will also remind you that I have survived here far longer than you have. Alone.
Okay. One
And-
question then to prove that you are not being taken over in some way.
I do
What-
a test. Go ahead.
What do you think of Tamlakos' face?
I've never seen his face.
His theoretical face. What do you think? How would you describe it?
I don't know how. I've never seen his face.
Just picture his shit-eating grin and tell me what words you would use to describe his face.
I'm not sure how much more plainly I can state it. I've never seen his face. Even when he spoke to his context, he did so in different forms. Sometimes me, sometimes Tavares, sometimes a random bard.
So if he doesn't have a face, what's his natural form?
Well, that's what she's saying. She doesn't know.
But didn't she just said that Nasali sucked him out of her and put
Yeah,
him into
I
his...
only saw him from the back. He wore a black
okay.
cloak, and he had some sort of bauble that he played with.
That would be the orb he offered to trade with Davynn for.
He offered to trade you that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like him. It's a good thing you didn't take it.
Yeah, figured.
He's killed about 4 people with it.
By offering the trade or with that orb?
With that orb.
What does it do?
As far as I understand, it poisons them slowly from the inside.
He gives it to them, and then they die.
And then he comes to collect it again.
So without touching this orb, can you give Davynn any tips on how to make it suck him into it?
Without touching it? No.
Yeah, without touching it.
Again, I will remind you, I might look a little matted and a little worse for wear, but I am a high priestess of Nenameth. I can tell you a great many things about a great many things, but not separated by bars.
Did you have a pet owl?
No, I've never owned an owl.
It was a mind owl, like I said.
Right. Well,
Okay, well,
moving on.
that
Davynn,
test didn't quite work.
Davynn, it is your orb, so you
Right.
In my mind, the decision is yours.
I think, one way or another, I don't want to leave you guys here to deal with Demlocos, so if anything,
That's
we have to
why
trust...
I was gonna give
Yeah.
the scroll to her.
If anything, we have to trust Balin, Gayle, maybe Cat to take it and run. So, one way or another, either this screws us all over as I hold out the orb for Balin to take, or maybe things work out.
I'm gonna draw my mace and like hold it up in case she does anything funny with it, just to let her know that I'm gonna bash her.
Gayle kind of comes up and says, "You might want to point that mace the other way, just in case."
What do you mean?
She's gonna cast a spell. Gonna cast a high-level spell in an area that reacts badly to magic.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. You bash her then if she does anything weird.
I'm not gonna bash a high priestess.
You bashed
Cat!
You're getting good
Cat
at
was
bashing.
trying to kill me.
Okay, but also good job on that. Like, seriously, I didn't think you were that cool. But now you're
Wow.
way cooler.
That could have been said a little bit better.
Right, so...
Harsh.
Cool's not the right word. I should say badass.
That still doesn't make it better.
Alright, well, shall we get to move on? I think we're rather pressed for time.
Let's...
Like,
Yeah,
I think we need a solid plan of action. Yeah.
Well, we're
Alright.
gonna
Let's let
Bowen
that's-
Bowen
do
do
her
her thing.
The Bowen takes it and checks it out and looks confused by it for a little bit. Mutters some words. And the vines around your feet begin to perk up a little bit. And the ones around Cat tighten a little. She doesn't seem to acknowledge them. She is out cold. Gayle is incredibly nervous. Okay.
It seems like something we should be concerned about.
just check. Make sure she's all right. But yeah, these vines are actually, again, they're pretty easy to cut through. They're just standard roses, so you could cut them free easily. They don't react or anything. And so yeah, she tries an identify spell very easily.
Tried that.
Identify spell, and that didn't work.
Yes, I was only able to get dimensions from it.
So she sits and concentrates.
I'm gonna
And-
see if I can figure out what she's doing from watching her.
Sure.
Out of professional curiosity.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an Arcana.
Not terrible.
She stares. And she whispers a word in Draconic. Would you speak?
I do.
And I know Davynn speaks. And the word she whispers is break.
Oh no.
And the orb glows for just a second, kind of like when you had it in your hand for the first time, Davynn. You were tuning with it, how it kind of got warm, and it glowed for just a second, and then it would go away. It glows a little bit, and then a little bit brighter, and then it goes dark again. And as she does this, the room gets very agitated. All of the vines that have matted on the floor begin to twist into these little maelstroms of dirt and dead leaves and wilted petals. They seem to be mindless, though. There's no intelligence behind them. They're not attacking or anything. Cat gets even more tightly bound from the waist down. But yeah, it continues for a little bit. The mausoleum itself, you can, even from your vantage point here, begins to creak, and portions of it break off as the vines that are streaming out of it contract. and pull. But then after 5 minutes or so, it's over. It's done. It's okay. Everything sort of settles back down again. And Bowen stands and goes to the gate and opens it and gives, hands the orb out to you.
Does it feel any different?
It doesn't feel any different. It feels a little warm, like a stone that was left too close to a campfire, but not uncomfortably so. Just like a warm sunstone.
I suppose.
Was I able to?
Not just like physically speaking. Does it feel like my connection to it is any different?
No.
And was I able to gather anything that she did after the identify spell?
Yeah, that was a wish spell.
Oh.
I'm just gonna stare at her, just like, kind of in shock. That didn't work.
No, it worked.
How did that not?
Oh, it worked.
It worked.
What did you do?
I told it to tell me everything it knows.
And what does it know?
Well, it's a key. The key to a realm of not precisely death, but close. It was created and its intent was tainted. It's actually very angry object. But if you wanted to trap something nasty, such as your friend in there, that would be the way to do it.
How?
Questions? That would
Well,
be
yes.
my first one.
How? That's the odd thing. There appears to be no word of power associated with this. There was at one point, but not even the item remembers it anymore.
Who?
So
The item?
the item?
Oh,
orb.
I thought you said somebody's name.
No, the orb itself doesn't even remember its word of power anymore.
Okay. And my second question, little off topic, but if somehow should we all survive, I was wanting to have a conversation with you. I was told that you were unavailable, but hopefully the circumstances will be better after this.
We're probably all gonna die in 15 minutes. This can't wait.
Well, I wanted to just, if we all survive, wanted to ask.
A little off topic.
And so she kind of leans up against the cage and says, I'm sure if the walls of the ancient castle do not come tumbling down around our ears, I can find time in my busy schedule to sit with you. Yes.
I would appreciate that.
So what you're saying is within the next 2 hours, we probably cannot figure out how this thing is going to work or how it can help us.
It seems to react to intent.
Oh, good. That's convenient.
But-
Okay.
We have that.
I imagine
I don't know how though. It doesn't like being told what to do. It's
So-
as I said, very angry.
Ask nicely, basically.
I suppose.
I imagine we'll first have to weaken Temlagos to give us time.
And
Maybe the friends are the answer. Maybe you have to friends it. Davynn, that would be kind of
Maybe. So what it sounds like to me is that this what we've ended up with is we have the item that he wants, but it's also possibly the only thing that we have that can beat him. So if we want to fight him, then this might be our only chance.
Yeah.
We'll just have to make sure that he doesn't get it.
Let's bring that scroll with us. If things go south, whoever's holding it gets bamfed out.
So that's it? Just one chance? No mess ups?
Well, Davynn,
No do-overs?
you hold the scroll, I guess, and the orb, and don't go in the front. Like, I know you've got to be a pretty good fighter, but
Well,
you could just
the thing
hang
is,
back and figure it out, I think.
I have to be the one to cast this spell because
Okay,
I don't think
well-
anybody else can.
But
Right.
you can
I will
you can
still stay in
designate
the back, yeah.
you can still designate that other people besides yourself leave.
Yeah, he can take us all
Yeah,
out in a
yeah.
pinch.
Sanctuary can take 6 people out, but it technically has to be Kern that uses it. Yep.
All right. So both Kern and Davynn stay in the back.
Yeah.
Well, Kern
this
can
is-
do other stuff. He can still heal us and stuff while he's waiting to see how the Dragon Orb thing goes.
Sure. All right. Well, I only
I've got-
have
4 spell slots left, if that.
Guys,
I-
she's been sleeping here for like a week.
She hasn't been sleeping, though. Gayle said.
Oh, not at all? Never mind.
I only have enough energy for 3 more minor spells and cantrips. That's it.
Well, we're not going to take him down by conventional means anyway. We got to hope that this Dragon Orb thing works out, and if it doesn't, then
Just gotta
Bamf out of
buy
there.
time.
So the
So-
thing is we have to buy time for Davin to figure out how.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can we?
essentially-
How long do we have here? How long do I have to just figure it out while we're here? Can we do that? Maybe.
Okay, make friends with it, maybe. Try that.
So I'm not
Sit
against.
down
that.
for an hour?
Yeah, I'm not against that.
Because
Yeah,
you
we
guys
can
are
even
hurt. I really don't want to lose either anybody here to buy me time.
High
But
Priestess.
if you take time to study, we can take time to patch up.
High
If
Priestess.
you
I
think
don't
an hour is
suppose.
safe.
I don't suppose you would have any means of recovering magical energy.
Unfortunately, no. This is a difficult place to rest, as you might imagine, with the constant drone.
Yes, well, it hasn't been too easy in other places either, so. Alright, well, that's going to be fine. Just fine.
How long do you think we
Fine.
have until he finds us here?
Until who finds you?
Timakos.
Timakos is in the mausoleum.
Yeah, but
Yes, he also
does he
controls
know
the
we're
castle.
here?
I don't know.
Probably. He knows we're probably in the castle.
He's sort of fused with the castle. I think he knows wherever we are. He's probably in there just waiting for us to come through the door. He might be even listening to us. I mean, that would kind of suck.
Do I have time to actually try anything
He
while
hasn't
we're
been
here?
striding out to meet us, so he must have at least some reason.
And Nisali could be holding him in check in there.
Yes, and we don't know how long she'll be able to do that, so the shorter the time we take, the better.
Yeah, but aren't like half of you in single-digit hit points right now?
Not me.
I am
I've
not
got
doing
37.
I've got 65?
Holy
I've
shit.
got 65. I was a giant ape for literally the entirety of the last fight.
I am 1 full strength fireball from, just absing. Or, like an average fireball.
And he's also psychic. So
And my mind stuff ain't that good. Hmm.
Well, I don't know. I can charge in there and try to keep him from Davynn at least.
No.
I'm pretty good at cutting people off, theoretically, even though it hasn't worked out for me yet.
Can I take some time to try to make friends with the orb somehow?
Sure.
I honestly have.
How would you like to do that?
So I'm gonna channel what Lily told me. when she was teaching me about what attunement is, and basically just try to connect with the energy within it somehow. I, again, am in a situation wherein I am out of my depth and have no idea how to use the object that's been given to me, and have been given a whole lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So,
As you sort of, I mean, you can sit and you can focus with it if you'd like.
yeah, I think I'll do that for a bit. Basically, I'm going to try to channel the same energy that I accidentally put into friends every now and then into the orb.
It responds with, at first you get the same sort of like low level vibration that trickles up your arm. And Lana, at about the same time, your arm starts to go off a little bit too. But Davynn, as you channel all the goodness and sweetness and light of friends, Davynness, it does not respond in kind. It doesn't hurt, and there's no overwhelming sense of bad emotions necessarily, but there is a very low grade sort of malice to it. This is, as Bo said, this is not a friendly item. Something happened to it. This thing was whatever its original intention was. This thing's purpose now is to destroy and contain.
Okay, well, sorry I can't make friends with you, but I got a hell of a thing for you to destroy and contain, buddy, so just hang with me for a little bit. Just work with me, please. I think it's as best as I'm gonna get, guys. If you're ready, then I am, I guess.
What would you guys like to do?
Do we have anything to patch up our cleric a little bit, guys?
Actually, Gayle would. You guys can... He doesn't have a whole lot of healing spells, but he's got some.
No, I think after this I'm going to invest heavily in brewing healing potions.
He does. He has cure wounds. Don't you laugh.
I'm at like 20, so, but I mean,
That's
Don't
not
you laugh
good.
at Gayle.
Someone picking on Gayle.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see what Gayle can do for you. Oh, that's not bad. That's 11.
oh boy.
And he looks, like he knows he's not really helping, but he's trying to help.
Good job, Gayle.
What else does he have? Let's see. Use that one. Actually, he's got 3 of those. So, do you want me to dump them all into you, Kern?
I
Yes.
feel really bad.
I think that'd be
Does
wise.
anybody else
if
hurting?
we're not taking a short rest, they need to go into you.
Yeah, Mooshnik's
Yes.
kind of messed up too.
Oh, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Mooshnik's
yeah.
also messed up.
Spread the love around.
Okay.
I'm
But
good.
considering Kern's the only one who can use the sanctuary spell, I think most of them should go to him.
Okay. So another to Kern and one to Mushnik. Is
Yes.
that's what we're doing?
I think
That's
so.
agreeable to everyone else.
Okay.
We can try to sit for an hour.
That's 13. 13 to Kern.
13 to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm looking healthier.
14 to Mushrump. And you have tapped Gayle out. Sad little cleric that he is. He's trying real hard though, guys.
He's doing a great job, and we very much value him as a member of our team.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure he feels very valued. Asking to regurgitate apples is always a sign of trust and friendship.
That was out of character.
And
Was it?
even if it was in character, then yeah, I mean they're trusting him to not, beat the shit out of them for saying stuff like that.
As far as sitting for an hour for a rest, Gayle did mention very specifically that according to Bowen, she's been unable to recover her magical abilities, that she's been effectively just sort of pulling up. She can take 10-minute cat naps, but she can never get enough rest to fully recharge anything. She looks exhausted. So
Alright, well, I think we're as ready as we can be.
Yeah.
It's not about getting the magic back, it's about spending the last of them hit die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spending the last amount of time with our friends.
Well, she was
Aw,
thrown into a
that'd be
stone
sad.
wall, so I mean, yeah, Cat's having a real good time. Yeah, Gayle's in so much trouble when Cat wakes up.
Well, shall we?
Oh wait. I got something. Yeah, I got some silver tea. Anyone want to have a smoke before we go in?
You know I am, lad.
I think we should steer clear of the hallucinogens before this, but silver tea will just take the edge off.
Yeah, you know
Oh.
what? Do whatever makes you feel comfortable,
Unless it restores arcane power, then I'm afraid I'll have to pass.
I'll light up the flute pipe and take a big token, offer it around. Anyone gonna take a puff? I don't offer it to Gayle though, because I'm not a monster.
No thanks. Not this time.
I need to have a clear head.
Bowen?
No, thank you.
Sheesh. Bunch of squares.
Mushnik?
What's that roll for?
Ah, no.
Who
I
are
just
you
wanted to think
attacking?
that's the bonus I get for smoking the flute pipe.
Okay.
Plus 16 Mooshnik.
I was gonna say plus 16 to the Mushnik.
That's 16 minutes of dialogue every time he speaks.
That's right.
All right. So you ready to proceed?
Yeah.
Where are we headed? Mausoleum?
Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Mausoleum.
Good luck,
Oh.
guys.
Yeah. Hey, Lily, I think you're gonna need to be a giant ape again.
Unfortunately, I don't believe I'll be useful otherwise.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I only have enough energy for 3 minor spells and cantrips. And
Alright. Unfortunately, I can't seem to pull off the big lizard again. Not sure why.
One time inspiration. It happens sometimes. As you make your way across the catacombs to the massive mausoleum in its center, which would be impressive given its size and the ornateness of its carvings, were it not absolutely encased with black-green vines that are perfectly healthy. Not the dying, matted mass that you guys have been walking on and around this whole time, but perfectly alive, festooned with big blossomed roses. This is really the only place in the whole area that doesn't stink of compost. And actually the vines seem to come from just beyond the double stone doors. in front. You can see the tendrils coming out from around all sides of the closed doors, even as the doors themselves are covered up by other vines. You don't hear anything other than the incessant drone of conversation, both from Mooshnik and from the unseen, people from centuries of history. What would you like to do?
I'm still trying to connect with the orb the entire way through. This is taking up the entirety of my attention. I'm just basically following along at the rear of the pack.
Alright,
Okay.
I'll take the lead.
Lily has the unseen servant guiding Davynn by nudging him in the right direction whenever he starts to veer off.
Guiding his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Xylund, you've got the lead. The doors are shut, encased in healthy looking vines and pretty roses. It'd be nice if it wasn't a death trap. What would you like to do?
Perhaps we should knock. Be polite and all.
No. I mean, he's gonna know we're coming anyway, but I don't think he's gonna open the doors for us.
It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'll start cutting at the
before-
lines, I guess.
Before we go in, Kern is going to just reflecting on everything that's happened. And he's gonna remember how content he was at sea and start humming a little tune. Something that, sailors would say before, when a storm was on the horizon. Although gales and storms bar our way, we know that this is our home. And I will be hoping for any sort of help with recovery.
Oh, divine intervention.
Yeah.
Okay. When your AD's 8 requires you to use your action. You
I
got
know it's like a
percentile
1 in 10
dice.
chance, but
Alright, roll your dice.
alright.
Rolls your dice, you take your chance.
Oh. Man. Oh well. It's worth a shot.
I still like this song. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it was a nice song. As you finish your your little sea ditty, while you unfortunately do not receive any aid, everyone is able to pick up, even above the Chloe suite, smell the roses on the mausoleum, the smell of rain, right before it storms.
Yeah.
That burst that you get,
Yeah.
coming from a far corner of the of the catacombs, just sort of rushing over you in a streak.
We look in that direction. Do we see the statue of Eileen?
Oh yeah. There's a 20-foot tall statue of the storm goddess. There.
A nice lass.
Hey,
Looks like
Xylund.
Mhm.
I just want you guys to know, thanks for being with me throughout this entire thing. I'm kind of feeling left out. I'm the only one of our original 5 that hasn't died yet, so...
And that's how it should be. And don't you dare say that again, otherwise, we don't want to add you to the group.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try, but just thank you. Thank you to everybody else too.
Yeah, it's been a... Well, I mean, there are worse things I could have done with my time than hang out with you guys, I guess. Sorry, it, ended with us all probably walking to our deaths. But up until now, it's been mostly fun. So thanks for the memories and all that shit. Memories, I mean, they don't persist after you die, probably. Unless you take them with you to heaven, although that would suck. What would be the point of heaven?
You probably know better than I would, so I'll take your word for it.
Can't speak for my sister, but... And I know we're fairly new to this group, but I will say that this is the first group that I've been a part of where I feel welcome. And for all that we've been through together, I wanted to thank you all for that.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Let's do it.
Even with Mooshnik here. Who?
Yeah.
And
We
we're all
appreciate
given
you.
final words and such.
Yep, time to
I
go.
think it's about time I say, you're all pretty swell.
Aw.
Everybody
you're pretty
pauses
swell,
and waits for the rest of that phrase to continue, but it just never goes on.
Whoa.
So Xylund, are you gonna try and cut through the vines?
Yeah, I think I lost my magic dagger at some point, didn't I?
You threw it.
Can I freeze the vines and make them easier to get rid of in large patches?
You can try.
Alrighty.
Oh wait, I picked it up again, now I remember.
Just make an attack roll?
Yeah, cast your spell. So your spell fires off, which causes a flutter of dead leaves and dried vines. But the spell doesn't actually seem to connect with the vines. It splays off as if there's a minor barrier. But I mean, you've seen it before, but usually it's purple, and this time it's white.
Oh, it's an Asali barrier.
Well, that's both concerning and heartening.
Maybe we should knock.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, knock, knock.
Knock, knock. Again, cannot actually connect with the door. And when you put your hand out, you actually touch
Okay.
the barrier, which doesn't hurt. It feels a little funky, like having kind of maggots against your hand all moving all at once. Not in a squirmy kind of way, but just in a lot of movement kind of way. And you can see your hand outlined in white.
Hey, Davynn, we phased through the last one of these with the dragon orb, right? At least the front door.
Very weak.
I think so. It was literally inside of me at the time, so...
I mean, I could do that again, but let's see if I can avoid needing
Alright, let's try this. I'm gonna, try to walk through it while holding the dragon orb and all.
Okay. Holding the orb and walking forward, the barrier appears for you at first, but then peels back slowly, first making a big enough hole for you, and then peeling back across the entirety of the door and then the side until what appears to be a shell of this barrier falls away from the mausoleum. It also peels back the vines themselves, which crumple like they're being burnt, and they fall to the ground just like ordinary plants. The stone doors begin to open in, and we will take a break here to reset audio and get water. And when we come back, we will find out what's going on inside Mausoleum.
Unicorn Tea Party.
What a wonderful cliff we're hanging off of.
Oh my god, we're gonna die!
So the mausoleum doors slide in, and in what would ordinarily be a dimly lit room, as the only built-in light sources are 4 heavy iron sconces, one in each corner, with flickering firelight, is instead quite brightly lit by a bubble of swirling purple and white light. The focus of this bubble is the massive sarcophagus that takes up much of the mausoleum. It's an intricately carved bone sarcophagus with sort of wings built out to the left and right, clearly made from dragon skeleton, and heavily carved and set with runes and stones, as befitting the first great queen of Greylock. What first catches your eye is your friend, your buddy Tim,
No.
who is standing off to the right of the sarcophagus. He looks annoyed and tattered. He's within the half bubble. Then he keeps shooting looks behind him at the figure that is kneeling upon the sarcophagus, which is the diminutive figure of Nasalia herself. Both hands on her knees. Doesn't even appear to be breathing, but she is upright. Seems like she's deep in thought or meditation. The shell, as your eyes sort of adjust to the change in light. It's not just swirls of purple and white, but little pictures that sort of form and dissipate, like you would see in clouds racing overhead. Dragons chasing birds, and hunters chasing stags, wolves chasing rabbits, back and forth and over and over and around and around. It's a very pretty little scene, but it seems to be taking a toll on its creators. Temakos' robes are a little tattered, and he's got what look like they would almost be considered burned. They're very white, bright scars. He's got one over his left eye. He's got 3 across his right hand. And it looks like he's got a pretty nasty one that is cutting down from his shoulder blade across his chest, but it gets cut off by his robe, so you can't see how far it goes. Nasali, for her part, you can see even as her hands rest on her knees, her fingernails have turned purple, nearly black. And there are traces of purple going up each finger, sort of coalescing around her wrists like shackles, and have begun to trace up her arm. She, again, is completely motionless. Does not acknowledge your arrival. Tim does, though. And aquarium.
Hello?
I missed the first half of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cut off.
Yeah.
I heard Tim does though, and then aquarium.
Oh, Tim does, though. He spins on his heels from inside his little aquarium to greet you.
Is he handsome?
Well, no, it looks like he did upstairs.
Oh, okay.
He looks exactly like he did upstairs.
If I had to describe his face in one word, what would that word be?
I already showed you his picture. You know exactly what
Yeah,
he looks
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, he is the same smarmy ass that sat upon the throne upstairs. He looks incredibly happy to see all of you, with a broad, shit-eating grin. I thought you guys would never arrive. I'm glad you made it.
I start focusing mental energy to the ARP, being like, see, that guy? That's the one. Please, please suck him into the void.
Is that what you command it to do?
Use the word friends.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Do you point the orb at him in any way or make any indication that that's what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just like holding it generally in his direction, but I think I'm behind everybody, so I think I wouldn't do that in case other people got in the way and also got sucked into the void.
Okay.
So I'm basically just seeing if I can like prime it to do that.
Okay. So you sort of give it that command. You program that intent to it, and it vibrates pretty violently. Like it's the most response you've ever gotten out of it from all your attunement sessions. And Temlakos' facial expression changes significantly. Like he looks legitimately terrified for a split second, and then he shapeshifts immediately into an elven woman, an older elven woman with long white hair, completely indistinguishable from who he was before. And the orb in your hand stops. But the moment he transforms, there's a deep growl that seems to come from nowhere and yet echoes through this hall. And you see one of Nasali's hands rise up about half a foot from her knee, point out towards Temlakos and twist like she's turning a doorknob. And he contorts back into his original shape. Unfortunately, as she does this, you can see the lines of purple just start speeding all the way up her arm into her biceps now. And Davynn, you hear one very specific word in your head, which is now.
Now?
Now.
Do it!
Do it.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it. Just like run up to the front of the party and hold out the orb to Temlakos and be like, suck him into the void! Do it!
As Davynn rushes forward, the shell splits down the side like a bubble stain from the top down. And Temlakos, you can see he's trying. He's doing his damnedest. His fingers are shaking, and Davynn, with your close proximity to him, his face kind of contorts a little bit, looks almost kind of lupine, as he is desperately looking for another form. And Nasali's hand still outstretched, shaking, as the purple keeps getting closer and closer to her neck. And within 30 seconds, Temlakos is gone.
Holy shit.
And in your hand is an extremely hot and vibrating like mad dragon orb. It seems to have cracked a little bit. So it's got these fissures now. And the fissures on the inside are glowing of their own accord. The outside is still the same dull sort of, pewter and iron. But the little fissures are fire red. And now I need everyone to knock themselves down to 1 hit point.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
The 1 hit point?
1 hit
One
point.
hit point? Jesus.
Okay.
God damn it, all of Gale's hard work.
I was at full!
No one tell Gayle.
I will require a dexterity save and a constitution save from each of you.
How close are we to Xylund?
Yeah.
I'm great at all of these.
I think we're all in a big cluster, so you probably
Yeah.
You said a dexterity and a constitution?
Oh my god! Do you guys
This
see
is all like plus 2, right?
Yeah, plus
Yeah,
guys-
yeah,
you
this
guys-
is all +2.
You guys see this? A nat 1 and a nat 20.
I got a 6 and
Oh no, Kern!
a 9.
+2.
8 and 11.
Oh no!
But I will re-roll with my last luck of the day,
Okay.
the con save, because I have a better shot at making that one.
Okay.
And
No!
I didn't.
These
These
are
That's
actually really
even
difficult
worse.
saves, so don't worry about it. Anyone who did not save on dexterity for at least, check my notes here, make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Yeah, for 20.
Oh, fair.
Gets blown back. The door is shut as you came in. You were a little distracted, so you're just knocked against the back wall, which, again, you didn't make it in very far, so there's no impact damage or anything like that. But you are knocked back. And anyone who did not save Constitution-wise for anything 20 or greater is momentarily blinded.
Oh, well,
And I
I
will
can
explain
see.
why.
That could have gone
Oh
worse.
no.
You'll see most
I
of
think
it.
I think this is the worst.
You'll see why. So again, the first thing that happens once Tumlikos is put away in his orb, Nisali puts her hand back down, and for just a moment she remains completely still, and then she shoots up, like literally off the top of the sarcophagus, so that she is now in midair. And there is a bright flash of light, which is where the Constitution save comes in. And in the moments before those of you who failed are blinded, all you see are wings outfolded that are white on the inside and edged in purple and gold. And her usual sort of simple shifts that she wears when she's not holding court has been totally replaced with battle armor, brass battle armor, just absolutely caked with stones, blue and purple and black geodes. And it looks for just a second like she's got a spear in her hand. And with one great fell swoop, once these wings have fully extended, she comes back down, doing sort of a Superman land on top of the sarcophagus. And as the wings touch down, there is a pushback that knocks you against the wall. But it also sends out a dust cloud. But instead of pushing dust into the air and making things awful, you can feel the calmness returning. You can feel the control. You can feel everything that had poisoned the castle be blown back. And for just that moment, there's absolute silence. The drone is gone. Even the sound of the fire flickers don't register. And when the blindness clears, or if you're Lily, whatever.
/ Lana.
Oh, Lana, did you save as well?
Yep.
Cool.
Only Lana and Lily did.
So the Tiefling twins actually see this gilded form, this sort of otherworldly figure bleed out of existence, along with the ripples of air sent out by the wings, until there's nothing left but a crumpled 16-year-old girl with some serious scars on top of the sarcophagus. As the sight returns to the rest of you, that is also what you see.
I Does it look like she's?
Yeah.
If it looks like she's about to fall, I sprint up.
No,
Yeah.
the sarcophagus is large enough because it is massive. Like, it was made from an ancient dragon. It's huge, and she's not a big girl. She's very, very slight. So no, she landed in the dead center of it. She looks like she's curled up taking a nap, basically.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, we need to go see if she's alive.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let's go
check.
do that.
I'm gonna check on her. See if she's all right.
Well, she doesn't seem to be breathing. Her eyes are closed.
You have a pulse.
She's got some serious scars. Not that you can find.
Is she
Oh,
dead?
God.
Mooshnik, no.
Did she have a pulse before?
What was that?
Did she have a pulse before?
I'm trying to see if there are any signs of life whatsoever.
If your criteria for signs of life are pulse, heartbeat, breathing, reaction to touch, none of those are happening.
So those healing words did nothing?
Hey,
All
John,
right.
you know that raised dead you're sitting on?
No, it hasn't been that long. Gonna go put my finger hands together and just try to shock her awake.
I'm gonna flop an inspiration on you real fast, just in case you need it.
I'm assuming that it's been within 1 minute that this has all happened. We've been like, oh shit, she's dead. Otherwise, I will go down a different route.
I will, since you are in a holy base, this won't help. So you might as well keep your diamonds.
While everyone's tending to Nasali, I am going to make sure that the dragon orb doesn't show signs of continuing to crack or show signs of continued damage, as if somebody will escape from it soon.
The cracks don't seem to be getting any bigger, but the little internal light, the little red glow, is not going away.
Is there anything I can think of with my knowledge of magic, both arcane and divine, that could potentially help with Nasali? If Revivify won't?
I highly doubt it.
Hey!
Hey!
Just in case. Nope.
That was me
Nope.
starting to do the
Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
yeah, that whole CPR deal.
And
He's laying
I
hands on
can't
her
think
the
of.
old-fashioned way.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of anything. Yup.
Xylund, you perform your life-saving measures. They do not seem to have an effect. Now she's not cold or anything. Like she still feels like a person, but she's not responding.
I peel back her eyelid.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on in her eye? Is there just like no response or anything?
Well, I mean, they're still there.
Okay, I knock on her
Do
forehead.
they respond to light? Like if
Yeah.
I have the light spell up, like they can, like constrict and like okay.
Oh, really?
Okay,
she
so she's still alive. Theoretically,
Yes.
anyway.
I think
Oh.
she's like so full of the Gesho voices that those are what sustain her, sort of thing.
Well, perhaps we should let her rest then?
I mean, yes, but this is kind of a jury place, and I don't think I'd want to
I'll
be left
pick her
around
up.
here.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is also a very holy place surrounded by Geshold stone. It may be what recharges her.
Does anybody remember, can she not leave this place? Was that a thing?
couldn't
Oh.
leave because she was holding Timlako said
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Maybe
But
we
like
should.
even before that.
Historically, she has never left Karoct. Like, she doesn't leave the castle.
Yeah, well, if the voices are what are keeping her alive, as I theorized, then it would be a bad idea to take her outside. I'm not going to
Well,
do
maybe
that.
just not
But if-
outside the crypt. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly. We can just we don't
Maybe,
have to hang out
maybe
here.
we need to get her to some sort of other clerics, you know, like the people of Italy. You could use one of the scrolls to take her there.
Well, we could
maybe
get them to
That
come
would
here.
right now I have that set outside the castle, and if what Xylund says is right, that would kill her.
Maybe we could talk to the clerics just outside.
Or we could do that.
That could also be a very gentle.
There is a high priestess out there.
All right, let's take her
Literally,
outside
like-
to the clerics. Let's go.
20 feet away.
I'm just like, we have a high priestess of Nineveh.
I was trying to get to that point, but
She's like
You
one of
did
the
it very well.
she's like one of the demiurges there.
I love it.
Onwards.
Alright, so Xylund, you scoop her up, and again, she's nothing. Featherweight. But you do all the purple scarring that you saw on her before is still there. It hasn't retreated. So yeah, I know. I love this song. So you take her out to the area where the Cleric Conclave has been hanging out. And they are currently, well, the Druid isn't, but Bowen and Gayle far more cautiously than Bowen is helping tend to Cat, who has been released from her trap. Her shoulder appears to have been reset, and they are fixing her with a tourniquet
Could
from
also
cloth.
potentially ask the druidess for help as well. Cover all our bases, so to speak.
Hi guys, we
can't
have a nice Ollie. She seems to be in a bad way. Can any of you guys help? Also, Temlakos isn't here. Also, he's gone. We did it.
also he
Yay,
is
us.
here, but like he isn't here.
Seems fine
Also,
for now.
it's complicated.
Now, you do notice, once you walk out into the wider area, that all the vines are gone. All the vines are gone. All the
Bit of that
smells
shame.
that were there have all left. It's still a catacomb, so it's still mildly creepy, but it doesn't have that same sort of like compost heap feel that it did before. So, yeah, at the mention of Nasali, Bowen does come up to take a look at her. I don't think we can help her.
I got the feeling that.
Hmm?
Well, I had the feeling that her soul can't bring her back to life right now.
Well, she's not dead.
Yeah.
You can't kill an Enmetal.
How do we help her then? Who can?
Oh, well, you'd need an Amaskin. A chronicler.
Okay, where can we find one of those?
Where can we find one of those?
Well, normally they serve high-ranking lords and ladies, such as Her Grace, but Her Grace has forbidden them from entering Greylock proper.
Oh no.
Ah,
So can we just leave her as she is? Will she just get better on her own? As the voices sort of buoy her back to whatever life is for her?
I'm not entirely sure. She's not precisely, my area of expertise.
should we ask Kat if we should go get an Amaskin?
I'm thinking not. She's probably got a good reason for not wanting the Maskins around.
Probably. But we could. I don't think anybody would know Misali as well as Kat, so
No,
we
that's
could
true.
ask for her expertise.
Yeah, there might be a reason why she didn't want any Amaskins coming in.
And even if she still says no, she could probably tell us if Nisali is likely to recover on her own.
Maybe not.
So let's get
but at
Kat
least we
somewhere
know
that we can help her. So away from all the voices.
Yeah.
The voices are still quiet, aren't they?
Yeah, all the voices are gone. That drone is gone, everything is gone. It's still the same physically. It's just not the contorted version anymore. It's just a normal catacomb.
Okay. So can we help Kat then?
Well, yeah, Kat's just getting very tenderly bandaged. Gayle, who does not want to seem to be in front of Kat at any particular moment. He keeps shifting behind her to tie her tourniquet or tie her sling.
I'll take it over
She
from
looks
Gayle,
annoyed,
so-
however.
I'll take it over from Gayle because he's probably inadvertently causing her distress by not trying to be in front of her.
But she is awake, yes?
Yeah, she is up. Her shoulder's been reset. Her wounds have been treated.
Was she close enough to hear that conversation?
She's a telepath.
Oh. Okay, well then I will look to her and I will look to her for her response as to what the fuck we're supposed to do about this.
Well, you need a maskin. The lady's not lying to you.
Well, why
You know
doesn't
why
Nisali-
Nisali didn't
yeah.
want Amaskins in here in the first place?
I don't know. She does not care for them. She seems to have a sore spot for them, but if someone kidnapped me from my home and tortured me for a decade, I'd probably be a little annoyed too.
Yeah,
Did they do
forget
that?
that.
Well, the chroniclers train the Nenmatai. They find and they usually have other Nenmatai find new Nenmatai, but they are in charge of sort of training them and overseeing them and sort of guiding them. The only time you really see chroniclers out in the wider world is near a Nemetal, or as Bowen mentioned, sort of as advisors or court sages. They're extremely smart. They consider themselves the chosen people of Nenemeth. They were the first race to be sort of lifted out of bestial form, or at least that's what they say. And they credit Nenemeth with the ability to speak and to record, which is why they're called chroniclers. But Nisali was the last of the Nenmatai, and she was the only one that was found and trained directly without any interference from any of the other Nematals by the Amaskins.
So that usually it's like a group training effort. The
Yeah.
Nematai all get together to
Yeah,
train
it's
the
like a
new.
mentor thing. Yeah, like they go out and they train, and it's sort of a long, slow conversion thing. Nisali's training was sort of quick and dirty and last minute.
With torture involved.
So she would likely be pretty sore if we went and got one to help her.
Well, it
Do you know
doesn't
if she's
sound
going to
like
get any better right now?
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, she's not human.
Yeah, we know.
So, what if we went looking for one? We know that you can reach us pretty much anywhere. And if she does wake up on her own, you just let us know when we come back.
Where are you gonna find a chronicler?
I was research?
Where's the nearest Nenmatal?
The nearest Nemetal.
Is right next to us.
No.
No.
If you go
Technically.
to, there's one in Valwall. There's technically one in the Forge Islands, but you would need a ship.
Well, it's lucky that we have a sailor among us.
There's one there's one directly across the ocean beyond the Forge Islands, but you'd have to go through Orem to get to her.
Let's not
I
do that.
I vote not that one. Oh, and there is currently the Orem invasion to worry about.
Yeah.
Yasali can deal with that once we get her up on her feet again.
Assuming that we can do that fast enough before Orem starts moving.
Well, I guess we gotta hustle. So which is closer, the Forge Islands or Lowell?
Hold on. Yeah. I think we need to find somebody. But Lana, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just thinking because I was reading the chronicler page like you do, and they're very old and they're silver, and we did happen to run into a guy who was from a very long time ago and also left silver marks. So that might be something we should like check off before we go running off to a hostile nation.
Are they
That
silver?
is true. Amaskans are extremely distinctive looking. They have silver, almost like fish scale kind of skin, usually blue lips and blue eyes, although that can vary depending on their age. They usually wear cloaks and hoods because people get sort of weirded out by them. And they usually only travel in other companies. You very rarely find them wandering on their own. But if you had seen one, you would definitely remember having seen them. They are extremely odd looking. And that is why I would like Davynn to roll an intelligence check.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Oh shit, Davin's growing skills. He's an Amaskan.
No. You want an inspiration, Davynn?
Sure, I'll take
I've got
that.
one left. Let's just two more actually, but take that one.
Give them both.
I can't do
Double
that.
inspire.
The 13.
Okay. It was a long time ago. But if you recall, when you were hanging out at the Camp of the Argent Order, there were two fairly wicked-looking druids and a hooded man with silver skin and blue lips that said, "You should probably come talk to me before you go into the city." And you said, "Yep, I will." And then you went to hang out at Benalis, and then you went into the city, and you never went back.
Oh
I
crap.
got laid, I forgot. I'm sorry.
When we all die, we know who to blame.
Well,
Blame Davin's penis.
No.
Crap,
Yes.
okay. Wait! Wait! I think I know one! There was one at the Camp of the Argent Order! Crap! I totally forgot because I just got too focused on Stahana existing!
Oh, wait, what? What do you mean?
But-
Oh. Oh. As Cat reads his mind.
perhaps we should go and speak to this individual then?
Yes!
Probably.
Yes, let's do that!
Especially since it seems like Greylock has been put back to rights.
I'm gonna stay here in Carrick. I don't know, just keep an eye on this alley while you guys go follow up on that.
I'm such an idiot!
It's okay, Davynn. Pat. The attention of a woman is a beautiful and dangerous thing.
All right. So now that you guys have sort of regrouped, now to be fair, I believe Davynn was the only person who actually spoke to him, so he is the only one who would have had a chance to remember.
And the only one who carries the blame. Continue.
But now you've got the rest of the crew in tow. And
Is Bowen coming with us?
Oh yeah. Bowen will follow you out. She is actually kind of half leading the party. She seems to know the castle pretty well. Leading you back up the stairs to the balcony and back up the sloping passageway. Except now it's actually a set of stairs instead of a gradual, smooth slope. Yes, you are all at 1 hit point still. And when you are...
Do people want more hit points? Just
Yeah,
in case
like
something goes
if
wrong.
a child sneezes on us when we step out, we're just gonna die.
All right.
A stiff breeze blows us all over.
Do you want to mass cure wounds or something?
Yep,
There
that's
you
what I'm doing
go.
right now. Everybody gets 23 hit points.
Nice.
Yay!
We're 24 now.
Does Bowen seem kind of distracted or kind of super focused, or does she seem like she'd be amenable to a conversation?
She seems fine. Like she's very. For those of you who met her when you rescued her, their personalities are very different. Like the Bowen that you guys hung out with was pretty chipper and kind of like girly giggly. This Bowen is not. This Bowen is like, serious business. You know, big girl panties on, got shit to do. So she again very focused and very determined and very task oriented, but not unfriendly. Just we have things to do and they need to be done.
Okay.
So she's kind of hurting you guys out, but yeah, she would be amenable to conversation.
Okay, well, I'm gonna... Wait. Am I still at 2 levels of exhaustion / half-speed movement?
Uh-huh.
Never mind, I'm not doing this. I am trying desperately just to keep up.
Yeah,
Right.
your exhaustion has not been assuaged in any way.
How about half of us go get Nice Ollie comfortable and, like a decent place. The other half will go down to the Urgent Order camp, get this person that
Random
Davynn forgot existed. For good reason.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought he said to come find him after we were done.
Yeah.
But no, I looked back on it and I totally got that part wrong.
Okay, it's okay.
All right,
It's all right.
well, I think, just, for efficiency's sake, I'll stay behind here.
I'll go with team
God,
fetch,
you're moving
dude.
fast.
I've got some spell
Alright.
slots that should speed us up.
Go with
Yeah.
team fetch dude. Xylund, you're carrying.
Yeah.
All right.
Does anyone know the way to her bedroom? That might be a good place to.
Yeah,
put her.
that's where Bowen is taking you.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, Cat should, right?
Wait, I thought you knew the way to
Right.
her bedroom.
Right.
We didn't get that far.
Yeah.
Ulrich did.
So you guys
No, we
come up. You finally leave the little stairway, but instead of coming up behind the throne where you guys entered, you actually come up in an older part of the castle, the ones with the more brownstone walls. They're a little crumblier, that haven't been rebuilt yet, and it looks very reminiscent of the section of the castle where the alchemy lab and everything was. And if you recall, in that version of Nisali's room was at the end of the hall. It was just full of screaming and awfulness. But Bowen has no issue leading you directly down that hall. She points in the opposite direction, and she says, "Those of you who want to leave, that's the way out, but this is the way to her bedroom." So who's leaving and who's staying?
I'm staying.
Yeah, and I'll stay just simply because half-speed movement does not make a fast party.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
I'm
Leave.
Lily
Yeah,
stay.
that being said, I think Mushrump should stay because he's got the -1 dex.
Okay, Mooshnik will stay.
Gayle, you should stay.
Why?
Because I missed you.
Aw.
That's a lie.
You don't know me.
I know you. You left me with a dragon.
Came out alright.
Alright, I'll stay. Not because you asked me, though.
Of course not.
Alright. So Team Stay gets led down to the bedroom. When you open the door, instead of this hellscape of sonic nuisance and ear-splitting howls, it's actually a very nice, well-appointed bedroom. Very simple. All the furniture is wooden, but it's about twice the size of what you guys ran into. It doesn't have the same sense of squalor. It's just, it's very similar to like a nun's cell or a monk's cell. It's just extremely simple. It does have a few chairs here. So you can lay her there as Bowen instructs. And Kat sort of nurses her elbow because she's not going anywhere. While you guys sit and watch over the presumably dead, maybe dead, who knows?
Probably not dead.
Masali. Team outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How well do you know Castle Karox?
Not that well. I've never been here before.
We've been here once before.
Yeah, so let's roll some intelligence checks.
This is gonna
Because-
go
Can I
well.
use my navigator's tool?
No, there's no sun or stars here. Unless you made a
I
map.
got this, you guys.
All right. What are we doing? Is
Yeah,
this
you got
survival?
this.
No, it's intelligence because it's trying to remember the layout. The actual Castle Karoct is a lot more twisty and turny than the fake one that you guys were trapped in. There's a lot of
Right.
side corridors, a lot of pockets. It's an old castle.
All right. I'm
That's
gonna roll
cheating.
this. Hello.
Hey, to be fair, so is Jack of all trades.
Yes, this is true.
There we go.
And look how much credit did you.
All right. So between Davynn's general enthusiasm for art as landmarks, and Lana's general knowledge of how castles are kind of built and what makes the most sense, you guys managed to wind your way around to the front.
Guys, we should have left marks or something for the way back, but continue.
You are now in the quote-unquote new part of Karox. This is all rebuilt stone. You mark the throne room as you pass it, and then sort of wangle your way back to the front. Stepping outside, it's a totally different reality. The fog is completely gone. The pervasive smells of smoke and fire and the distant cries of unseen people and beasties and war are totally gone. The destroyed houses are still kind of destroyed, but
Yeah.
that feeling of pervasiveness is pretty well lifted. The Geschel still glints a little bit. It's about noon, so it's catching the full rays of the sun, which might be a little PTSD inducing at this point. But you can see the movement here and there as small cadres of Argent Order guards and even a few temple guards are poking their way from house to house, sort of checking things out and looking for survivors and just getting a general feel. You can even see far off in the distance where the wall around the city is starting to slowly dematerialize from the top down. Either they're no longer building it and letting it dissolve, or they're actively pulling it down.
They're really getting on this quick.
So we headed out to the fields.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Back to the place where I saw that guy last, which was the Argent Order tent.
Yes. So you guys do come through, and as you get closer to the wall, you get to the poorer areas of the city, the guard presence increases. Again, checking for survivors and sort of bringing in construction and builders to pull off the stuff that's already burned and just try and make it safe while they can and get that out. But you can eventually get past the wall. All the camps seem to have huddled in on themselves. It's not that people are bringing down the wall, they're just not putting it up anymore. They've all sort of clustered under their own banners and are sort of taking stock and whispering furiously. It's actually more tense now than it was when you guys went in. Nobody seems to be entirely sure what's going on, except the hospital tents. There's a lot more people just up and moving around.
Yay.
Cemeteries are still cemeteries, but there seems to be a lot of confusion, but positive confusion.
Yay.
There's also a lot more Orm soldiers. At least another ship has arrived, given the amount of banners off
Oh dear.
to one side. You're not close enough to get a good gauge on their numbers, but there was only one banner when you guys went in. There are now 3.
Yay.
Let's get this done. And then
Just so you
once
guys
it's always
know,
better.
I think time might have been like weird. Got in there.
That makes sense to me. I don't know why it makes sense to what that says about my lifestyle, but
Because
it
it's
makes
only
sense.
been like 2 hours and all this stuff has already gone down. So, like,
Was it only 2 hours? It feels like
It
we were in
seems
there
like
for
2 hours.
weeks or something.
well, like since everything ended, since we locked us away.
Yeah, that's gone pretty quickly as far as you guys are concerned. But yeah, from out here, while the excursions into the city are still, again, pretty small and fairly timid, they are out there. Like, people are at least soldiers, and those accompanied by soldiers, don't seem to be afraid to go into the city any longer.
I'm gonna find somebody who's not in an Orem outfit, but also looks like they're in some sort of uniform, and ask them, "Excuse me, sir and/or ma'am, whichever one this person identifies as."
So, are you looking for Argent Order? Are you looking for a cleric?
Anybody who looks like they're official. Or
Okay, well, there's a
belong to any
lot of
given one them.
clerics running
Yeah, I'll
around.
find a cleric then.
All right, like, again, you could easily find Rildis. Rildis is everywhere in Greylock.
Yeah, I'll go for that then.
Okay, so male cleric of Rildis.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Quick question: how long has it been since things have cleared up in the city?
Well, we first noticed the break last night. The fog seemed to clear, and we didn't hear the screams or see the phantoms or whatever. We're not sure what to classify them as. And then this morning, things seemed normal. I believe the different temples are convening to decide the next best course of action. We can only assume that Her Grace has managed to cleanse whatever it was that has affected us, and we are simply waiting to hear from her.
Yep.
Sounds
Is
right.
there something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Where's the Argent Order?
Oh,
Still same place?
yeah, points behind him. There's a massive tent with the Argent Order banner.
Okay, great.
As Davynn comes back, I'll be like, so they said that they're getting all the temples to like decide what to do next, right?
Yeah. And apparently things cleared up last night.
So it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, so we are okay, but I wonder how long we were in there that more Orem people were able to show up, like multiple ships and everything.
Yeah. So I think it would probably be a good idea if we had somebody listen in on like what the temples are doing or wanting to do. Right? That
Are
way
they
at
meeting right
least
now?
Well, that's what it sounded like.
I
They're
can
really getting ready to.
turn into a butterfly and eavesdrop.
Well, I was gonna say
Or we
I
can
could
just...
go and ask if I should, as a member of Nelline,
We could
go
also
and-
just go in as the people who got sent on the mission and succeed.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
also true.
fair.
But we
We
also
should-
need to get Nysali up and moving as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, what do you think?
So let's see when this is happening, and if we can do both those things in parallel, then we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll prioritize Nysali first.
All right, sounds good. Actually, come to think of it, the Amaskin might be at the meeting, because he was at that meeting with the Argent Order
That might
last
be
time that I saw him.
Well, let's see what's going on.
All right, so I guess we're just gonna try to find signs of the Amaskin and/or the meeting
Okay.
when it's happening, where it's happening, etc.
Okay. Well, the meeting, I mean, that's pretty easy to find out. Like any cleric, any little cleric can tell you. Right now, the temples are sort of circling wagons and discussing things amongst themselves. And if they don't see or hear from Her Grace by sunrise tomorrow, then they're going to hold a meeting. And it sounds like they're going to at least float the idea of running Greylock until Her Grace can be accounted for. That seems to be where each church is leaning. Obviously, the more militaristic religions are more gung-ho about it, and the more peace-loving ones are a little less gung-ho.
It makes sense though, because if nobody does, then that gives Orm an excuse to actually come in.
And yeah, that seems to be the overwhelming issue, is Orm is freaking everybody out. But at the moment, like I said, they're all in their own little banners, preparing their talking points, because it is priests, so they like to talk. But yeah, it'll be tomorrow at sunrise, unless Her Grace gives some sort of sign of life.
Well, that's all the more reason why we need to go and get Nysali.
All right. I guess I'm gonna go to the tent of the Argent Order and ask about the Amaskin that was there. Next time I won't describe him as such. I'll describe him as the guy with the silver skin and the blue lips, and yeah.
Okay.
And we should probably keep it on the down low that he needs to come with us, like, right now.
Yeah.
Well, Mac and Cheese is still standing guard. Just him this time. He doesn't have his buddy. The tent is a lot fuller than it was the first time you guys came through. The Argent Order is extremely agitated, as you might imagine. The table is really crowded and really angry. And off to one very far side is the dark-skinned druids that you met the first time. But you don't see necessarily the hooded man, the Amaskin. You want to ask Mac and Cheese about him?
Yeah, might as well start with Mac and Cheese.
Okay.
Hey Mac, long
yeah?
time no see, I think, right? How long has it been since we last saw you?
Oh, well, I mean, you guys have been gone. Sheesh. 5 days? I think. Yeah.
Bad.
Okay.
I was worried it was going to be worse.
Yeah, same. Hey, last time I was here, there were some druids. Those guys, right? They had somebody with them. Has he been around?
Oh, the guy in the hood?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he, I think soldiers make him comfortable. He was here until the sergeant started their meeting, and then he wandered away. But I don't think he went very far. He's probably just at one of the tents just beyond, one of the diplomat tents. Sure, you can find him.
All right, thanks.
So yeah, there are a small collection of just sort of single pop-up tents that are marked with the symbol of Greylock just off of the massive Argent Order tent. Most of them are empty. The flaps are pulled up so you can see that they're empty. One has most of the flap pulled down with one about 3/4 up, and there is your your hooded individual reading a book and writing in it occasionally with a bit of charcoal, seemingly content with what he's doing.
I will approach him, perhaps too quickly for standard protocol. But I'm in a bit of a hurry. And I was like, hello, hi, remember me, Davynn from Whitfeld?
I do remember you, yes. I was concerned.
Yeah, my bad. We had a meeting scheduled, right?
Well, it was an invitation. I understand my people are not necessarily welcome in this area.
No. It's not that at all. It's just I got really sidetracked by
Things.
other business, preparations and the sort, But yeah, would love to talk to you now if you've got some time.
Of course, I have nothing but time. I don't think the Caridae are planning on leaving for a while yet.
Okay, great. Can we find somewhere private? Maybe a private tent if that exists?
Well, this is as private as it gets, I'm afraid. Everyone's busy with their wars. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Great. So, remember how when you last saw me, I was, what, five days ago, right? 5 days ago, we were going to go see about saving Nisali and helping to save the city and everything.
I recall, yes.
Yeah, so we half did that, and we feel like we might need your help for the rest of the saving Nisali part.
Oh?
Yeah. Not sure exactly what's going on with her, but she's not breathing. She doesn't have a pulse. She seems like she's alive, but hurt a lot. And we were told that you might be able to help her.
Well, that's standard for an Elemental. They don't breathe. They don't have a pulse.
Oh.
But
Okay.
You say she's injured? Is she
Yes.
responsive?
No.
I thought that might be the case. She wouldn't let anything happen to her precious castle. Which is why I made this for you. And he puts his book down, tucks his charcoal in a little sort of satchel bag he's got sitting next to his stool. And he flips through a couple of sections and he pulls out some potions. And these are huge honking vials, too. They're massive. And one's green, and one is purple, and one is black. And he hands you the black one. Just give her this. And she'll be fine.
Yeah? What exactly does it do? Other than fixing Nemetai?
Well, it takes a lot of power to do what they do. And that one in particular, a bit of an overachiever.
Okay.
She pushed herself a little too hard this time.
So it's like food, but magic.
After a manner of speaking, yes. It's a family recipe, I suppose, if you want to continue with the metaphor. It will help ground her again and help her restore a little bit until she's able to remember who she is.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need.
I know.
Remember who she is?
Yes. Being an Enmetal, you're constantly torn between being a channel for the divine and being a mortal upon the earth. It's something the chroniclers have always sought and never been able to achieve. But we do what we can to facilitate the transition. And sometimes the Nemetai walk that line too finely. Either because they were chosen poorly, or they simply don't abide by the rules that we would lay out for them, and Nasali has never been one for rules.
Okay.
Great. Is there anything else we should know? I'm really sorry that we didn't come to you earlier.
He sort of waves a hand at you, and as it emerges from his cloak, you can see he's got gemstones embedded in his skin, up along the back of his hand, and across his wrist, almost like a bracelet that's been bonded on with gold. It's fine. I figured you'd come to me eventually. When I heard what happened, I knew she had to be in trouble, and I wouldn't dream of violating the rules.
What rules is that?
Oh, we're never allowed to step foot here. We are never to speak to her or lay eyes upon her.
She doesn't like you guys, right?
She does not. Which is fine.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you. Can I ask your name? It feels like, maybe I would like to. It's just kind of like a habit I have, but I'm also not sure if that would be disrespectful or something.
No, I actually gave it to you when we first met, but it was a stressful situation.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about that day.
It's okay.
Clearly. If only there was some sort of way of listening back to what happened on that day so that I could remember more clearly.
You can call me Zir.
Alright, thank you, Zir.
Welcome. Now, I would suggest you bring her back before her precious city is snatched away from her by these mongrels.
We'll do our best. All right, back to the castle.
All right. Yep.
This went really smoothly. Why didn't we do this earlier? Don't answer that. It was because of me.
Okay, Davynn.
As you guys go streaming past the Argent Order, you see the two druids that Zero referred to as the Caridays give you half-hearted little waves and kind of like little half smiles, like, yeah, we remember. And you can retrace your steps back pretty quickly. No one's stopping anyone from going in or out of the city. At this point, it's effectively at your own peril. They're not paying attention. So you can hightail it back to the castle, and I won't even make you roll intelligence to retrace your steps.
Yay.
You can find your way back.
Yay!
Pretty easily, with a few, misturns here or there, until you can get back to Nasali's room, where Xylund and Lily are either playing dragon chess or napping. Mooshnik is most definitely napping.
If Bound was still there, I wanted to tour while everybody else was gone.
Okay, we can do that. What do you want to talk about?
Excuse me, High Priestess. I was wondering if we could speak for a moment.
Sure.
Perhaps out in the hall, or a little more private.
This is the first year I've had in weeks. Do you fear your compatriots so much?
No, it's just very sensitive. I can have Joffrey carry the chair if you'd like. Because my invisible servant's still there.
I can carry my own chair. And she does. Takes her chair with her. And lugs it out into the hall and sets it up against the rough red stone. And sets it down.
Check to make sure that nobody is eavesdropping. I'm assuming Kat already knows all of this, so I don't really care if she telepathically eavesdrops.
Cat is clearly in a lot of pain. Like, Cat is a combination of annoyed, broken, and like she doesn't know whether she looks like she doesn't know whether she wants to pass out or punch somebody. She's hurting. She's not a happy camper. But yeah, there and there is nobody else here. It feels like a normal empty hallway. That you can hear the echoes of your own footfalls. It doesn't. It has sort of the unused quality because it is an older area of the castle, but it's not stagnant or anything like that. It's just a lonely part of the castle now.
Right. So, I've been on a sort of journey for a long time now, looking for some information, and you're the first High Priestess of Nenimith, or even really anything of Nenimith I've been able to find. There is a curse of sorts I'm trying to break. And for all of my research, for all of my learning, I've not really been able to find out anything about it. Not much anyway. The only clues I have here, I bring out Lily's mother's journal, are contained within here, and it seems to be dealing with something extraplanar. And I was hoping I could ask for your expertise.
There's no such thing as extra planes.
Please.
All right.
Which she says
Well.
in exactly like deadpan, looks at you dead in the face and says, "No such thing."
Right. Well, no such thing or not. There is a curse that I'm been trying to break for many, many years, and I struggle to find even the slightest lead. Like I said, the only clues and hints I've been able to find have been in this journal, and deciphering it is difficult to say the least. My mother was many things and spoke many languages and was... I don't even know if she did it on purpose, but I was hoping I could... when I found out that you were the High Priestess of Nenimith, I was hoping that that you could help. At least point me in the right direction.
I can certainly take a look at it for you, but if what you say is true and the information is based upon the idea of worlds beyond our own, not to be indelicate, but you might be dealing with the work of a touched mind.
I can assure you that the curse is real. And even if the source is not what we think it is, then you would be far more equipped to determine the truth of the matter, I believe.
Well, I generally don't back down from a challenge, although my library is a little small as of late. North Shore isn't exactly known as a bustling center of scholar. But I suppose the Mount can give me a little space. The Maesters owe me that, at the very least. So I'll take your books, if you care to spare them.
I can. I could also make a copy.
Copy'd be fine. I don't need the originals.
I'll do that then. Also, as I'm sure you could note up, Hal, I'm one who could use patronage of sorts. If it's possible, I'd like to inquire as how I could get that.
Well, if you're looking for money, we don't have it, and apparently my assistant is dead.
Not,
So
not-
I'm not
not
sure I
mo-
can give you much
not
in the
m-
way of work right now.
not monetary. Let's just say my mother was studying something that is frowned upon in today's time, and in order to try and break this curse, I had to delve quite heavily into her research and continue it, in a manner of speaking. And so that is a constant source of stress. I was told that the only way to become even somewhat legitimate was to have patronage from the Church of Nineveh. Something that only...
We provide cover for our clerics, who generally tend to be talented individuals in several ways. But they earn that just the way all other laymen and clerics do, through good works, charity, and by occasionally lopping off people's heads or sending them to prison, depending on the deity of your choice. But there are things that even I can't condone, and if it gets to the point where it's a question of my morality versus your research, I'll burn you myself. But until we get to that point, I don't have any problem taking you into the church.
I would appreciate that. I've been staying in the mostly in researching ways of breaking esoteric curses, so I don't believe that should be an issue at all. I do thank you.
I wouldn't thank me yet. It's a very thankless job to be a cleric. Just ask Gayle. He had many complaints. We whined endlessly during our time together. And she sort of laughs at her own little joke. Don't look so upset. It'll be fine. We can provide you cover. I can even get you into the mount, if you'd like.
That would be lovely. I often drive my sister spare with always looking for new books and lugging them around.
Well, I think the mount actually cuts your hands off if you touch them, but you'll be able to look at them. I mean, you can turn the pages and stuff. That'll be fine.
Yes.
But don't look so put out. There's nothing more entertaining than puzzling through something new. So we'll work it out. And hopefully it won't go any darker than it need go. So make me a copy, and I will see if I can at least point you in the right direction, although I still maintain if this is based in any sort of extra world, old world, lost world, fantasy, I'm not sure how far it'll go. Just to be honest.
Well, to be honest, this is the first actual chance we've had in years. Really, the only progress we made is a stone I was able to craft. I don't know how much it's actually helping. So, thank you.
Huh?
From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
I keep telling you to thank me yet. We still have to do initiation rites. Gotta get a new temple. Lena's probably gone. Gonna be a mess.
Well, whatever you need from me, I guess.
Well, if Lena's gone, I need you to cook. Because I can't.
Funnily enough, according to my sister, whatever I cook tastes more like the fire than the food. So...
Well, we will starve then. But that's a worry for a different day. She picks up her chair and hauls it back inside. For now, let's just enjoy the quiet.
Yes, I'll have that copy for you as soon as I possibly can.
That's fine. Just gonna close my eyes for. And so she goes into the room of sleepy time. Everyone is having a nap. Yeah, we enjoy the quiet, and then here comes here comes the spaz parade.
Guys, we got it! We got it!
Oh my god, things are so much worse than we thought they were.
What?
No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad.
It's actually pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, honestly, it was really simple. We got a thing that should fix Nasali right up, and yeah, everything's looking up from this point on. As long as this dragon lord doesn't crack and let Tim lock us back out, knock on wood.
Do you want to put that in the bag of holding so, like, if it explodes, at least it's like contained?
I don't know if that's gonna cause another explosion.
Should we also perhaps take that back to the Bloodwell now that it's apparently damaged and done what it was going to do?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But first
able
off,
to
let's
extract the guy.
fix Nasali. Yeah.
Yeah, let's fix Nasali, and we pull out this gigantic tube of black liquid. We're like,
Yeah, it's like really gross looking. It's
All we need to
it
do
looks
is
like
get her to
squidding.
drink
It's
this.
terrible.
Do you mind if I take a look, just real quick?
no time.
Sure.
We have to do this. Yeah, sure.
I mean, no, yeah, what Kern said. No, but actually, sure, go ahead.
Can I use my alchemist feat to identify the potion?
Yeah, you're not under any time crunch here. It's not a spell exactly, but you can identify at least some of the components.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only have to see it in order to identify the thingamabob.
The thingamabob?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty. It's very much like squid ink, as mentioned. And there's a couple things that would make it be that color. One of them is obviously mushrooms. There's a particular source of mushrooms over in the Forsaken Marsh, which is where Amaska is located. And those mushrooms in particular have been known to bind souls, at least according to the tribes that live there. So it's often used for lycanthropes and things like that. People that change or that are dual natured and they want to try and force into one position or another.
Like Ninmetal being both channeling the divine and also being mortal.
Yeah. So that's probably the most compelling part of it, is that very distinctive, deep black color. The rest of it doesn't seem to, any other ingredient just seems to thin it out, because something made just from that mushroom would be so thick you wouldn't be able to ingest it that way. This was obviously made for somebody to drink while they were unconscious. Something, to be fed or to be injected or to be administered in food. So, yeah, everything else would just be dilutants.
All right. Well,
while Lily's inspecting, I'll also be basically explaining the situation outside, how it's been 5 days, and how the rest of the places are worried about Nizali and gonna meet to figure out what they're gonna do about ruling Greylock and all that.
All right. Well,
So we have till tomorrow morning to get her awake.
All right. Well, so the core component of this is actually a fungus mushroom that grows in a very particular marsh. It sort of helps lock those of dual nature into one state, often used for lycanthropes. Knowing what we do about Ninmatal, I believe that this definitely would help. Everything else is basically just to dilute the mushroom from a thick black sludge to something that could actually be, drank while unconscious.
Alright.
So,
This means that we're not just dumping poison into her.
yes,
Cool.
and that was my concern.
Yeah,
Well-
me too, because it seemed like this was too easy, but I'm also okay with that being too easy.
Alright. Let's prop Nizali into the position to,
Favorite bird
stuff this
position.
stuff down her throat, I guess.
Alright. You crowd around.
Hey, Kat.
Yeah.
I just want to get your okay on this so that if she is real pissed at us, we can sort of say you gave it the okay.
Xylund is refreshingly blunt and honest about his intentions.
And a mask and gave it to you, right? A chronicler, an
what?
actual
Mhm.
chronicler, not somebody who just painted
Yeah.
himself and
Yeah.
had a
We even
hood.
got his name. So
You
Yeah.
got
he
his
was like,
name.
he was like, "Oh, I can't come in, blah blah blah, because Nizali," and we wouldn't ever, go against the rules, yada yada yada. That kind of sounds like chroniclers, right?
I've never met one, so I wouldn't know.
I was asking, yeah.
Oh, I've never met a chronicler.
Okay, so what we're saying is we have no idea whether or not this was a chronicler or very convincing face paint.
He did. Oh, wait, never mind. I wasn't there.
But also, to be fair, I didn't know about these guys until we found out about them from you guys, and the odds that somebody was specifically trying to pretend to be a chronicler both before and after this whole situation went down seem kind of low to me.
But you're sure he's a
Alright.
chronicler?
We're sure that he had silver face something.
And gems in his hands. And...
Assuming he's a chronicler, then are you okay with
no,
this?
wait a minute. Gems in his hands, like he was wearing jewelry, or gems in his hands?
Like in his hands.
Yeah, only those bastards are crazy enough to do that. It's legit. Go ahead.
Okay.
Alright.
Here goes. So you,
Like,
you
Dump some
her
in
up.
there, stroke her neck
Yeah,
until we get it to
stroke
go
her
down.
throat.
No. That's my job. I'll stroke her.
Xylund muscles his way in. I'll take care of
Xylund with his gauntleted fists.
it.
I'll
That's
take
not
off my
gonna.
gauntlet.
Isn't Nysali like 16?
Yeah.
She's like
well,
100 years old or something,
Yeah,
isn't she?
physically she's 16, but chronologically she's several hundred years old.
Xylund is
You
very
know-
emotionally stunted. They're about the same age emotionally. If anything, she's more
No.
mature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nematai stop aging when they fully convert. So yeah, whatever age they are when that happens. Although ever since the crack, they've begun to age again very slowly. So you do the giving the dog a pill thing, and it seems to help a little bit. Like her fingers flex a little, and she swallows the last bit on her own. She still doesn't open her eyes. And the yeah, I know, peanut butter is always the best. And the purple streaks that had been sort of invading the side of her body start to fade. They're still there, but she's also extremely pale. So they stand out a lot. They are fading, definitely.
Well, that looks like a good thing.
Sally, are you alive?
Cat from the corner
Yeah.
says, "What are you gonna do? Poke her with a stick?"
Do you have one?
I poke Nasali.
Don't poke her.
I already did.
Don't poke her again.
So Lana
poke
does
her
what Lana does
again.
best. Sees something and pokes it. Again, she still feels warm and she still feels, like a person. She doesn't open her eyes, but she does sort of vocally react to being touched. Like she's having a bad dream.
All right, everyone, stop poking her. Get out of here. Let her rest.
Is everyone leaving?
Well, we should let her rest. Cat, you cool with watching over her?
I'm not leaving her. You mooks, get out of here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was
go.
implying. Yeah.
Okay, so I will explain the business outside and basically end off with, so yeah, we do have to hopefully get her on her feet soon.
I'm going to stay here and watch over her. I'll come get you guys when she wakes up. Where are you staying anyway?
I don't know. I feel like I could just pass out on the floor right now.
Yeah, as of now, just nearest soft surface would be fine.
Lily's, as soon as everybody walked outside, had sat down, leaned against the wall, and fell asleep a moment later.
Hey, your legs aren't rock anymore.
Oh no, they totally are.
Oh, never mind. I was hoping that I could change something.
Nope. Nope. There will be no willing that out of reality. That is.
Come
not a
on,
thing.
yes, and
And so as you guys sort of like cluster around and sort of, bumble your way around, Cat does stand up and is like, "Oh hey, your chronicler.
Yeah.
Was he traveling with anyone?"
yeah, he was
He
traveling
said something
with
about traveling with a group of people.
druids.
Yeah.
Bring one.
One of the druids?
Mm-hmm.
But we just walked all the way there.
Come on! Can we
Hey!
sleep? Yes?
I'll turn
Fine.
someone into a giant owl and we'll pick them up. We're doing this fast.
What? Never mind.
Fine.
Do it
We'll do
myself.
it. Fine, Cat. It's
We
fine.
got it.
No.
It's fine.
No.
No,
It's
no, we
fine.
got it.
I'll do it.
No,
No.
it's fine.
Guys,
We'll do it,
Get
Cat.
your beauty sleep.
Would everyone shut up? She needs to rest.
My one-armed self will drag it across the courtyard.
Do you want a couple healing spells, Cat?
Oh.
That wasn't actually a question.
Well, now I don't have anything to bitch about.
I mean, aside from us.
Well, that will never end.
You got to stay with Nice Ollie and make sure that she's not going to
I
get
can stay
invaded
with
mind
Nasali and still bring us a druid. Who's standing at the Argent Order tent?
Mac and cheese.
Who?
Mac and cheese.
Macarene. Hey.
Macaroni?
Macarena.
I have no idea.
We'll go
Fine.
get them.
We'll go get somebody. We'll go get one of the druids. It's
We
alright.
can do it fast, you guys. I've got like 2 polymorphs left. I can.
Alright,
pick
but
someone
I
up
also
and be
would
back.
like to. I would also like to posit that if you abduct one of them, they will probably
I'm
think
not
that you're
gonna
hostile.
abduct them. I'll drop it when I get there, talk to someone, and then come back the same way. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
When you put it that
Um,
way, that sounds like a
nothing.
perfectly good idea. Go for it.
Yeah. This is the best plan I've ever had.
I'm gonna
Lily's-
go take a nap. Bye.
Just saying, magic in the middle of the Argent Order camp.
Yeah, shifting into animals is the things druids do, and I'm going to go talk to druids. Also, we just saved their city, so...
We'll do it like outside of it.
Yeah.
Watch out for Orem.
Yeah.
I think it might just be easier if we, walk back. I mean, an hour lost is not.
Fine.
Am I
I'll
not
go.
taking a
Maybe I
nap?
just wanted to turn into an
Davynn,
eagle,
you can
Kern.
take a nap if you want to. I'll walk.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go with him.
No,
Lily's
Davynn, you have been here before, so with a little trial and error, you can find the bedrooms that you guys stayed in the first time you visited the castle. And there's nobody
Perfect.
else here. Like, the castle was totally evacuated.
Perfect.
There's
This is
literally
luxurious and
no
is
one
everything
here.
that I've wanted.
Yes, these are fine, like, diplomat level suites. So you are sleeping in the finest bed you have ever encountered in your entire life.
Sure as hell feels like it.
Meanwhile, Lily's passed out in the hallway.
Oh, Gayle, go find me some booze. There's got to be some booze in here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's booze here.
All right.
Bowen decides it's not a bad plan and takes Gayle with her. I'll show you where it is. Come on. Yes, Davynn? Okay. Dragging Lily along. Gets her into a bed. So we've got Davynn and Lily having a nap. Cat and Xylund watching over her grace. Bowen and Gayle on the hunt for booze. And team outside headed towards Druids.
Yep.
So you make your way back to the Argent Order camp. Druids are still there. There's still a bit of a war council going on with the Argent Order, so they don't really pay any attention to you. They still look mildly amused as you approach the Druids.
Hi, can we get one of you to come with us for a second?
Okay, as a refresher, it's a man and a woman. They're both dark-skinned. One is dressed in gold and bones, got massive tattoos up each arm, and one side of his face carries a bone spear. Just a very slight gold glint to the eyes. The other, also dark-skinned, but seems a little more subdued. And they kind of snort in unison. And the male says, "Any particular reason?"
Being summoned by her grace.
They look at one another.
No, not at all.
I lost no.
Not small.
So the guy nods. This is alright. I suppose. What we came for. Who wants to be a mouse? Raise your hand.
Wait, what?
Mouse?
No.
No?
Oh God, are we gonna fly up there?
Mm-hmm. Come along. He turns you both into mice.
Yeah, that's probably how it goes.
And he becomes an eagle. Scoops you up. And flies you back. Hello.
We got turned into mice and carried by eagles.
See? I told you! Eagles!
Yeah, but they are known and acknowledged druids.
Ah,
Yeah. Eagle scooped you both up, flew you back to the castle, plunks you down in front of the door, and unpolymorphs both you and himself. Right. Where is her grace?
Alright. We'll show her up to Kat's, the room that,
Okay.
Solly's room. And I'll think to Kat, I'm like, okay, so I told them that Grace summoned them, so I guess that's like technically true since you can. Anyways, we got the druids. They're coming.
Okay, good. So as you lead your druid back to the small bedroom, hearing clangs in what seems to be the kitchen, several series of hallways away, in a search for booze. Finally making your way down to Nasali's little spare bedroom. The druid steps in, stooping a little to get under the door frame, and looks at Cat, looks at Xylund, completely passive-faced, looks at Nasali, and goes to touch her hand. Like, picks it up and drops it. Well, seems alive enough.
Enough. Live enough.
I take it you spoke with Seer.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good to know the trip wasn't wasted. Well, let's finish this, shall we?
Finish what?
Okay. Oh, we can't come all this way and have our girl lose her castle, can we? So he heads out.
Our girl?
Yep. So he just starts to walk out. Cat's like, well, let's do this.
What is this that we're doing?
The Caridae are the only other people ever allowed to speak on behalf of Her Grace. They're her tribe.
Huh.
So, in times of trouble, or war, or any time Her Grace needs a little backup, a member of her tribe will come and serve as an advisor, rather than one of the chroniclers. Keeps them out of each other's hair, and the tribe, you know, they don't feel like complete pieces of shit for kicking her out when she was a baby. It's a thing. I don't know. I don't care. Let's go.
Okay.
So, Kat is doing some apparently serious mental math or something, given how she keeps knocking into door frames as you guys make your way back to what is effectively the front steps of the castle. Xylund, are you coming with? Are you staying with Nasali?
So this druid walked in, basically said he's taking over the joint.
He just said, let's do this, basically. He did not explain what he was going to do. And all Kat said was that the Caridae are the only ones allowed to speak for Nasali. So you have no idea what he's about to do.
Is there
Right.
anyone else in the room? I'll just stay behind, watch Nasali.
Okay. Yeah, there's no one left in the room.
Okay.
Bowen and Gayle left to find you booze. Kat was the only one left.
Yeah, I'll
and
just stay.
She headed out with the rest of the crew. So by the time you get the front gates, you know, we got Lily and Davynn who are snoozing.
Mooshnik's actually passed out in Nasali's room. Nobody moved him.
Yeah, Mooshnik has been snoozing this whole time. He's a very tired mushroom dwarf. It's been a long day. Bowen and Gayle have returned to the room with booze, so you guys are having their own little thingy, passing drinks around and just sort of being quiet and resting. Kat, Lana, and Kern, as you follow the druid to the top of the steps that lead into the courtyard. In fairly short order, there seems to be an awful lot of people there. Commoners and a lot of clerics, and behind them is a nice ring of temple guards. that seems to be hoarding them. And the druid speaks in a very clear theater projection voice. Her grace is recovering. Her bravery will be celebrated, as always. She will forever remain the protectress of Greylock. You are welcome back into your homes to rebuild. We will help you with whatever supplies you require. But fear not, she is fine and resting and will address you soon. There will be no need for any further discussion. And there's sort of a stunned silence as everyone sort of absorbs that for a moment. And then Dude just like walks away. Like he just goes forward and cuts through the crowd and leaves them to sort of mull that over. The clerics seem a little more perturbed by this. The guards are very confused, and the public's kind of relieved. You see people trail off to head back to what presumably were their homes before this whole thing went to hell.
Well,
So,
and we're just standing up there awkwardly behind.
yeah, you guys are, there's Cat. I mean, like, Cat's bandit brigade, so Cat's a royal officer, basically. She's allowed to stand up there. But yeah, you guys are just kind of hanging out. So after a minute or two of awkward silence with you guys sort of looking around, Cat steps up. Says, you heard the man. Let's get some brigades going. Get the rest of the order in here. Temples, marshal your men. You know what we gotta do. Harbor first. Then homes. Clear the burned and the bad. Not our first time. Let's go. And that gets people moving a little bit faster because everyone's a little scared of Cat. She doesn't leave though. She just turns around and looks at you. Says, I'm doing fuck all. I don't know about you guys.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we go inside and find some place to sleep before they restaff the castle?
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
That's a great plan.
Alright. So you guys trickle back in. Cat can take you exactly to where the nicest rooms are. One room is already occupied. Unless, Davynn, did you take Lily to her own room?
Yes.
Okay. The 2 rooms are occupied with Davynn and a Lily. But there's actually 6 in total, so there's plenty of room for everybody. And the small drinking party in Asali's room continues until everyone passes out, I imagine.
I don't pass out.
No, but little cat nap.
Alright.
And that is where we'll wrap up for today.
Yay!
Woo!
Yay.
Castle Karak has been returned to some sense of normalcy.
We
You still don't have
did
any idea what's going on.
Yep.
But we will have a
What else has changed?
resolution. Yeah. We'll have a resolution next episode
Yeah.
where we will close up this chapter of the group's adventures.
Next time on Dragon Ord's Ear.
Alright. I gotta get going. Thanks,
Alright.
Siri,
Bye,
for
Kern.
running, even though I know you haven't been feeling the best.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thanks for staying over.
Oh,
Of course.
good. It was good.
See
It was
ya.
good.
Yes,
Yeah, it was good. Bye.
Bye, Seven.
Yeah, that was great. I can't believe we all actually survived.
Yep, me
We're
neither.
fine.
That I
So do we
expected
build for
Hemlock
level
to-
next week?
Yeah.
Next week will be sort of the sort of the recap and sum up, you'll be able to see the results. You know, this will give your characters time to replenish a little bit. It'll hopefully give me time to not feel like, you know, death.
Take as much time as you need. Please.
But yes, all rewards and loot and so on and so forth, and all of that will be allocated next session, and then we'll probably take a little break so I can reload or upload, I should say, chapter 2, and that way it'll give you guys time to, you know, play with your rewards and decide how you want to level up and decide how you want to do stuff and what your plans are and stuff like that, how you want to progress, because you'll have a multitude of options about what to do.
Yeah, well,
So,
now
yeah.
I have so many options to actually look at. I was not expecting a lot of what happened today.
Hmm?
You could potentially level up a cleric now.
Well, yeah, that's
Mhm.
one potential. Considering I kind of just was like, "Hey, can I join your church?" Yeah,
And she
yeah,
said
that's
yes,
good.
which is the surprising part.
I was not expecting it to be that easy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, her church was her, Tuvaris, and then Lena, their cook. And
Two of those
Tuvaris
people
is
are gone.
dead.
I love her.
Yeah, I also love the fact that she was like, "Well, I need you to cook," and it's like, I spend all my time researching. Everything I cook comes out as charcoal.
You can learn.
Yeah, she can't cook either. But yeah, you guys will get a chance to spend loots and character plan and all that stuff next session. Because I
am very excited to see where this campaign goes at this point.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
yeah.
That's good. I am too. I'm curious to see what you guys do from here, especially with what I'm about to give you.
I gotta.
Probably muck things up, statistically speaking.
We still need to decide on a party name.
I
It's
know.
Still not
I know.
a thing.
You guys don't have a party name.
We've had like
Thundercats?
6 or so good possible ones.
And do we remember any of them?
The book club.
Gale Force was one. I like Dragon
like
Force
that.
still.
That's good too.
Socially Stupid was one we tossed around.
But you guys really aren't socially stupid. You kind of just get trapped in your own heads a little bit, which is funny.
We do. Like that's the biggest thing that I see from us is we get so paranoid that we end up mucking everything up.
Okay, but we were right about the owl.
Were you?
I don't know. It wasn't
I
an
was
owl.
right.
All we know is that owl was not something belonging to Bowen.
No, Bowen's never owned an owl.
That's literally the only thing we know about it. We also know from Annie that it was not a creature.
An owl.
Yeah, it's not an owl.
It wasn't a beast. No.
Guys,
Yeah.
Kat told me it was her. She told me. It was Kat.
Yeah,
it was
but
a
you
mind
were
owl.
high, and nobody believes you.
We
You-
never
you were-
will.
And
you were
Cat
high.
lies.
Yeah, you were high. Cat lies, and you know she likes fucking with you.
It was a mind owl. It was Kat.
A mowl, if you will.
Yeah, a owl.
Yeah, but now I gotta do a lot of reading and then talk to Eerie once I have stuff.
Oh, we can theme our group name after owls
Mowls.
and call ourselves the Who.
Ah.
Oh no.